Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome live on this Saturday morning, January 6th of the new year, 2024. Today's gone by. I'm Dave Lefkowitz here in the Daverhood. My darling and adorable wife, Joyce, will be joining us momentarily. By the way, that word I muffed was adorable. Sorry about that. And you know, it's funny. It was always this thing, the big joke that everyone told about the new year many, many years ago was that well into March, and it was true. You'd be writing checks from the year before. You'd have the date, and then suddenly it's like, well, no, it's not 23 anymore. 24, you got to cross out or do a whole new check. I think we write 3 checks a year now, so nobody even thinks about it.
Sometimes I type the 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
2014.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But the one thing I also used to do post-check era was if I was sending out like job letters for jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would be using these templates.
Oh, no.
So, dear so-and-so, dear so-and-so, and it was a template from like, 2019. And it was...
I shut the door?
Yeah, oh, please do, yeah. It was a template from 2019. And I would just not even think. I'd be like, I'd change the name of the address, the name of the person, dear so-and-so, and especially it was 1 year different. It was 2018 into 19. But now you kind of almost everything is so automatic now that you don't even.
That's true. Your phone, your watch, a digital watch.
Yeah. So I don't even think that much about it. Fred has something to say here.
All kinds of helpers in our world.
That's right. We have our Fred Rogers gizmo. Oh. He likes me just the way I am.
Do you think Billy Joel stole that song title from him? Just the way you are?
Oh, just the way you are. Well, and Bruno Mars stole the song for that. Not really. You can't really copyright a song title or anything.
Oh, really?
So Just the Way You Are was this huge hit.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm hearing like people are talking about Just the Way You Are again. I'm like, why? They play it at weddings. And so no, it's Bruno Mars doing his own totally different song with the same title. You're allowed. So if Billy Joel cribbed on some level from Mr. Rogers.
But David, if you can do that, how come you can't have 2 actors with the same name?
That's a different thing. You can. The problem is actors' equity back in the day, and probably still. The union that you belong to can't have 2 people with the same exact name because they won't know where the checks go. They won't, they'll get on the wrong credit. It'll be incredibly confusing.
Oh, wow.
So if there was like a Michael Fox, who was an actor in the 1950s and still alive and still receiving royalties for like Dark Victory.
Cary Grant, they're still on the Cary Grant thing.
There was an Archie Leach.
No, but he wanted to be Cary something. He wanted to switch it, and there was somebody else, and then he picked a Grant, I think. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you had to pick something that somebody already wasn't. So people, that's why you get not now so much, but people would put initials
or Junior.
In their, yeah, right. Well, yeah, I guess Junior. You make Junior specifically part of the name.
Yeah.
So they had to do that. And you probably still do to be in...
Unless your name's like Engelbert Humperdinck.
No, quite honestly, if Engelbert Humperdinck is in the Actors Union, I don't know if he would be. He'd be an AFTRA or something. Well, SAG-AFTRA now. Maybe. You would have to be like Engelbert J. Humperdinck. Or spell your name a little differently.
Wow.
Just to make sure that you wouldn't be getting... the royalty checks.
I'm sure that the right person would know if you're getting their royalty check.
How would they? How would I know? If I'm a famous person, how do I know that my checks, some of them aren't going...
Well, there's a musician that has your nname. There's like a rabbi. There are a lot of
people. Oh, yeah, my little Dave Lefkowitz, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. If let's say we were living in Manhattan, right? And we got mail for a David Lefkowitz. It's very, very possible that 1 out of every 400 letters would be for a different, for the other one. Wow. You have a name. I'm not going to say your name on the air. You have a name of another person who is in your field of work. Have you ever gotten emails?
No, I don't. There's someone who's a teacher.
and in
But like a
the social
pedagogy and
field.
psychology.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I ever had when I was living in Forest Hills years and years ago,
Mm-hmm.
somebody called me and she's like, "Are you so and so?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "I've been trying to reach you. You're my therapist." And I said, "You might have had a therapist with my name, but it's not me."
There you go.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to find people
And
who
then I
are.
billed her $750.
But it is easier to find people now, because there's so much information on the web and so many pictures and so many things of who is who and who's not. But every once in a while on Facebook, you'll get somebody. Did you grow up? Did you know? Are you related to so and so? That sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't in a long time. But every once in a while, are you the David Lefkowitz?
Look, those shorts, the little thing gives you something to amuse yourself with.
Joyce, yeah, I'm not masturbating down here, ladies and gentlemen. I am wearing. I actually should lower this too.
It's a shirt, shorts with a pull tie.
Yeah, I'm wearing these cute little blue shorts, and they've got a tie thing. So I'm sort of fumbling and fingering. I'm fingering my shoelace because essentially it's a shoelace. Okay, here I can show people. Look, behold. Ooh, that's hot. Anywho, so there. So that's how do we get onto the whole name thing? Anyway, I know I'm still hungover from New Year's Eve, and I didn't have a drop of alcohol.
Unless you can get sucked out of a plane.
Did you hear about that, folks? Did you see the news this morning? I guess. Well, the news came out this morning. It probably happened a day or two ago. An Alaska airline was flying along as airplanes kind of do, and at one moment, for whatever reason, probably faulty design, something gave way and a window blew out on the plane. And on the New York Post story, it said that I don't know how this could be, that a child's shirt was sucked out of the window.
And people said phones.
I get that. But was the child like wearing the shirt and it got pulled off his body? Or did he just have a shirt next to him on like the chair, and the shirt went out the window and the child didn't?
You saw that the
yeah.
What do you call that? The airbag, the oxygen bags were down.
Well, yeah. They didn't know. I'm sure they thought they were going to die. They thought the plane would explode or pressurize.
It looks to me like they said a window.
Yeah.
But David,
was it the exit door?
I'm not an aeronautics expert.
Yeah.
But this looks like a door. It looks like more than a window.
Well, maybe it was a window and it took out more than. Because I know we both know what an airplane window looks like. It's pretty damn small. Here, we'll show you the image. This happened on an Alaska air
I don't know where I was going to. Let me see. Do you recall the?
No.
Like to and from. That's what I don't recall.
So, I mean, again, stuff happens. The likelihood of it happening is 1 out of 20,000 flights. Let's say 30,000, 100,000. Nobody died. Nobody really even got hurt. More people got hurt in the New York City subway derailment this week than it was like 24 people injured in that, versus a plane in the sky, I don't know, 14,000, 20,000 feet up, blows out.
This is a Boeing.
Yeah, because it went boing,
it's
boing.
Like a window in the chunk of the fuselage.
A chunk? Oh, there you go. Window.
Shortly after takeoff.
Oh my God.
They're lucky because they weren't up super high.
Yeah. That's why nobody.
Yeah. It had to make an emergency landing in Oregon.
No kidding.
And a passenger said there's 174 people, 6 crew members.
No one injured.
Yeah, here it said. This guy said it's a passenger who said a boy sitting in the row with his mother had his shirt sucked off him.
That's okay. So I did read that.
Yeah, it said the mother was holding on to him, and you heard a big bang and a whoosh.
I gotta say, the best date I ever had in my life. I still didn't get the shirt sucked off me. I'll tell you that.
It said it was really abrupt. We just got to altitude. The window wall just popped off, and they didn't notice it till the air masks fell down.
They didn't notice it?
Well, no, meaning the passengers were probably all,
Wow.
Another passenger said she sent a text, she had a code to tell her parents it was an emergency, that something was happening, and she said her flight attendants and everyone was okay. People were freaking out, and then...
Didn't they have to move 1 or 2 people sitting near the window?
Here's the email statement. I'll show you Alaska. It says, Flight 1282 from Portland, Oregon to Ontario, California experienced an incident shortly after departure
Yeah, well, yeah.
on Saturday. And here's what they said.
What do they say of it? Yeah.
I can't. It's the thing I'm gonna.
Oh, it's so
very
small, I can't. I got glasses though
So
somewhere.
it says airlines value safety. They grounding the aircraft. It will
Good.
be returned to service only after maintenance. We anticipate all inspections in a few days. We're committed to doing everything. We worked with Boeing, the NTSB, the National Safety Board. And the CEO says,
Yeah.
Ben Minucci says, my heart goes out to those who are on the flight. I'm sorry for what you experienced. I'm grateful for the response of our pilots and flight attendants. We have teams on the ground assisting passengers in Portland and working to get people safely traveling. Not only those people, but imagine you're on the next airline.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, I'm not a big fan of Delta. However, today, do you think I can switch my Air Alaska flight to? Oh no, Spirit. I'll take Spirit. Spirit's fine. Spirit's great. I love Spirit.
Amtrak.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Man.
Oh, it was only 16,000 feet. It wasn't like 32. It wasn't all the way up.
Which probably meant nobody died. Otherwise, it could be like.
Yeah.
Phew. Also, wouldn't it be freezing? Wouldn't they suddenly be like?
And this is what I was always told. It's like when you scuba dive, or especially for me with my head, like you can't drop pressure quickly. So the pilot, I would assume, can't just go whoop. Like you can't go. You can't. You have to gradually.
Hopefully, yeah.
I don't get it.
I always wondered how the World War II, when the fighter pilots do these dive bomb things, but I guess they're not that high up.
They're low to the ground.
Yeah.
It says it was diverted after rising. They did it in meters, but it's 16,000 feet.
Yeah.
About 6 minutes after takeoff, 5 o'clock. Let's see.
Well, 6 minutes after takeoff, they're in the air.
Yeah, they were all the way up.
Yeah.
Oh, they rebooked them. Could you imagine?
Really? Oh, they got the passengers where they wanted to go?
Yeah, one passenger said they rebooked them, and they wanted to. His family was waiting.
That's good. That's good.
And then they said, okay, the flight, it's a Boeing 737. Just remember that.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And it's the newest versions of Boeing's.
So it's not an old plane that was made when.
Service 2017, and it said there's only 2 crashes before with this Max 8.
Yeah.
In 18 and 19.
Right.
And the only thing they did was make some automated service control. And then they stopped. Max deliveries have been interrupted at times to fix manufacturing flaws. In December, the company told airlines to inspect the planes for a loose bolt in the rudder control system.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, still luckier than that other guy who crawled into an engine this week.
He was, I think, just.
He was on drugs or something.
I think because they said that
there was a guy who was obviously blue and got through somehow security, got through like the doors, went into the airplane somehow unnoticed, and crawled in to the motor, which wasn't on at the time.
It was.
Well, the motor hadn't started, but the rotors go before the motors go. So he was probably, let's just say, he looked like chicken cacciatore.
I'm going to look at it again to make sure.
Yeah.
What I read was that they gave him the anti-opioid reversal, like overdose reversal.
Yeah.
So why would you?
I don't know.
And I think he took off his clothes along the runway. I mean.
Oh, so he was. So.
Yeah, I want to see David. It said he died. He was from. Hold on, this is Utah. I got to read it.
I think that was thoughtful of him to take off his clothes so that buttons don't go flying.
It said he breached security, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just they contacted the security, said there's a disturbance involving a passenger.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So wait a minute. So he blasted through. Did they see him going into the motor? And by the time they got, as opposed to him hiding there for minutes.
Let me see. This CNN might give it. This was like a brief. It said Utah police are investigating the death. This was a while ago.
Yeah.
This was January 2nd. 30-year-old got into secure ramp area of the airport to an terminal emergency exit.
Yeah. Ran
to the south end of the airport where they were de-icing operations on the plane. So that's probably
so there were people around the plane.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Emergency responders found the man unconscious and they couldn't revive him.
So he wasn't chopped to bits.
Well, we don't know. Part of it, maybe. It says he was identified as Kyler Effinger, a resident of Park City, Utah.
All right.
He had a boarding pass for a flight to Denver.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a Delta Airbus. 95 people were deplaned and the flight was canceled. No kidding.
Well, yeah. Well, why are you going, ugh? I thought it was chopped into bits.
Well, it says police responded to the airport at 10 a.m. A store manager inside the airport called them to say there was a disturbance. During the search, they saw the man.
Mm-hmm.
Minutes later, they found personal items on one of the runways, including his
clothing.
And clothes.
Yeah.
And then...
You know what? If he wasn't cut up by the rotors, maybe just whatever drugs he was on killed, and that's why he was unconscious.
I don't know. It says 10 minutes into the search, they noticed the man was at the de-icing pad of an airplane, where he went under the plane, accessed the engine.
Right.
And they asked the air traffic controller to shut the engines down. When the officers arrived, they found him unconscious, partially inside one of the commercial plane's wing-mounted engines.
Yeah. Was like the other half of him scattered over the runway, or yeah?
It says when officers arrived at the plane, they found him unconscious, partially inside one of the commercial plane's wing-mounted engines, which were rotating. The police said the specific stage of engine operation remains under investigation. So they were rotating when he was in it.
Yeah. So he was more than partially unconscious. He was partially unconstructed.
It says the officers began life-saving efforts, requested EMS, and included CPR and administration of naloxone. I can't say naloxone. Yeah, but that's
naloxone.
for overdose. Yeah. That's for opioid overdose.
So I don't know. Maybe he avoided being cut up. Look
what it says. It says he died on the scene. An autopsy will be conducted.
Yeah.
And a toxicology report.
Well, yeah.
Airport police said the incident did not impact other operations at the airport. Oh, God.
Well, no. I mean, the Starbucks is still going to be selling coffee.
God.
and his blood and lymph is hitting the windows outside the airport.
But I wonder, there's no update. 2 days ago, maybe.
Well, what's to say? I guess maybe when the toxicology or the autopsy.
This one says man found dead inside engine. So.
Well, there you go.
Why would he climb into the plane engine?
I don't know. I mean, there were folks who wanted to escape, wanted to fly out of Cuba and places like that. They would climb under the plane.
He had a boarding pass to Denver.
Why would he
take off his clothes and run into a plane engine?
Well, you take enough flights, they get kind of boring.
Oh, yeah.
You want a different view. You don't want the middle. Maybe you had a middle seat, and you said, you know what? I can either have this middle seat between a crying baby and a fat guy, or I can go into where the motor is, into the engine, and see the sky and everything, and hear the real rumble of the plane and feel that going through me. He just might not have been cognizant of the idea of rotors going around and around. That may have slipped his locus of cognition, if you will.
Oh my God! They interviewed his father. Oh.
And
they said his father. This is a Utah paper, so they have more local news, right?
Yeah.
Says the father called Judd said told the newspaper that his son was traveling. His son was traveling to visit a sick relative.
Yeah.
But has struggled with mental health for nearly a decade. Who wants to know? But it means he's
Yeah. And the father's name is Judd. That should tell you something right there. Judd Effinger.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
What's the son's name?
Poor Judd's son is dead.
Name?
I don't remember. Effinger. So Effingr. Hey, want to see my Effinger?
No.
Yeah, it's a little joke right there.
I know what you're going to show me.
Yeah. By the way, you're watching Dave's Gone By. It's our 925th episode of the show. Conmigo, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce, and this is what we do. We banter, we talk about the news and stuff. We also have certain very particular segments that we do on the show. For example, Greeley Times. Joyce and I, she mentioned Colorado before. We used to live in northern Colorado, and there's a newspaper there called the Greeley Tribune that once a week captures the funniest phone calls, real actual phone calls that come into the northern Colorado police departments. They cobble all that information together. It's public record.
So soon? You're not going to go through.
No, I'm telling people what's going to be on the show.
Right.
And so we take the funniest ones of the funniest ones, and share them with you on a segment called Greeley Times. We will also have our first post-New Year Bunion Watch, because we did a Bunion Watch on New Year's Eve, our show last weekend, where we rung in the new year with some wonderful friends of ours online. I hope you got a chance to watch it either live or you watch the rerun. Our New Year's Eve special that we do every year, and I did a New Year's Bunion Watch where I compared the size of my bigger bunion on my right foot to the orb that we dropped just before midnight. It was quite a moment, folks. Now we go back to a regular bunion watch where I will show you and share with you the size and condition of my bunions. Also, we're bringing back a segment that I don't think we have done in at least 2 years. I have to go back to the archives. Actually, I could literally tell you, I should remind you of this, that if you go in the archives of davesgoneby.com, you can figure out pretty much any time we did anything on the show and then go back and watch or listen to it. So the last time we did Dave's Big Dictionary was, let's see, July 30th, 2022. So it's been, all right, a year and a half. I thought it was longer than that, but it's been a while since we did our very, very special segment called Dave's Big Dick Dictionary.
Yay, I'm very excited.
So what Joyce will do a little later in the program is thumb through this dictionary. You want to do it now? I'm not going to do it now.
Yes, let's do the word.
So what she's going to do is thumb absolutely
I will not
randomly.
I will use the drumstick of power.
Oh, it is excellent, excellent. We just got this from the library because who has a hard copy dictionary anymore? Thumb through this at complete random, and then her finger will fall on a word. Her F finger will fall on a word.
Yeah.
She'll tell me what that word is, and then before the end of the show, I'll have to riff on it for 5 minutes or so, just whatever comes into my head.
You will hold the candle of knowledge.
I will have. Oh, when I do, yes, the lit candle of knowledge.
Yes,
so, are you ready to partake in the preliminaries of Dave's Big Dick
Yes, I will just choose the word, and should I tell you, or are you going to guess it like Kreskin? Okay, first let me put on the music.
Here comes the music.
The word choosing music.
Oh wait, no, actually, I do have a theme song, but that comes later. Okay, so it's more than halfway through the book. I'm guessing it's like an N word, not the N word. Oh, you're still thumbing through. You're still. Oh, am I supposed to tell you when to stop?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh no, okay.
All right, you stopped. The music stopped.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
The word is inexplicable.
Oh, that's not a bad word.
Incapable of being explained or accounted for.
Inexplicable. So here's the deal. It's called Dave.
The real word I think I picked was inexpiable.
I beg your pardon? Not able to pee?
No, not capable of being atoned for. That was the real one.
Yeah, but whoa. So which word is it though?
It's this word. It's inexpiable.
Inexpiable. Oh dear.
Yeah, it says not capable of being atoned for, and then my thing drew underneath.
Oh boy. Thanks for that. Thanks for taking away the rather easy inexplicable and giving me inexpiable.
Yeah, but you're a very smart language person.
So later in the show, apropos of nothing, I'm going to have to just think of that word, which is a word I haven't really heard. I mean, what is expiation? Isn't that a Catholic?
No. Probably it's a law thing, maybe for your dad with the courts.
Maybe.
I've not heard it.
So inexpiable, something that cannot be atoned for, something so terrible. And I'm trying to think what I've done in my life. Let's see. There were the murders.
I was the doctor then.
There was the genocide. Oh God! Wow. Yeah, no, I got a few things, but I will come up with something to talk about for a few minutes about inexpiable later in the program on Dave's Big Dick Dictionary. Plus, we will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we'll be going to Douglas, Colorado. I'll tell you a little bit about Douglas, Colorado, and then I'll read a poem horrible, tasteless, sick poem, an inexpiable activity, ladies and gentlemen, about Douglas, Colorado. And I think I've hit all the major stops on that. So that's what all these things: Bunion Watch, Dave's Big Dictionary, Colorado, Limerick, and Greeley Times.
Let's see what you did this week.
Yeah, and I do have something big to talk about, of course, for what happened this week. But did I take any decent pictures or anything?
Oh, did you show yourself with the Ravens?
Let me see that. Probably not. That's a pretty good shot.
After the Ravens, you have yourself with only the tip one.
Yeah. Let's share these.
I'm gonna share G.
Because Joyce, basically, her job besides being my wife is. Do I want to show this?
If you want to, it's up to you.
All right. Well, we had a friend visit last night. An old marvelous friend of ours named Monsieur G. We talked about him.
G.
Gregoire. Here he is holding a potato in our kitchen. And unfortunately, I tried to get him to stop, but he drank from the rabbi's oy vey mug. So now we have to have it fumigated because he's not kosher.
No, I think he was feeding potato from it.
He was making potato drink.
It does look like we've prodded him in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did some inexpiable things with him last night when we weren't looking. There you go. Here's a better picture of our friend Gregoire. Let's get him on the show. I like to have him on the program. Let me see. I want to get. Oh, those are two recent pictures. Then we found this. Was this at? Oh, this was the place I think that was closing, or is it Best Buy, or did we get this at a different place, or was it Mom's or something?
No, we got on the line at Marshall's.
Oh, it was at Marshall's. Okay.
We're waiting online.
So
and they put that right where people could do impulse buy.
Yeah. So this is a snack, snack item involving supposedly the best part of ice cream, which it really isn't. It isn't. But the
you told me it is because all the good yummies like.
Yeah, but I don't agree. I'm thinking that's why they would say only the tip.
Well, somebody's gonna get a caramel cake soon.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I know. I'm saying my birthday's coming up. Oh, here. But this is an actual thing. This is a snack item where they take the bottom of an ice cream cone.
No, I don't think they make the whole cone and take it. I think they just produce like tiny little sections of cone,
But come on, what is better? The first couple of licks of the top of an ice cream cone when it's still hard but melty a little bit, or like the mushy bottom of the ice cream, all the
I think a chocolate encrusted popsicle of like really good quality ice cream in a hard chocolate cases.
But which part of it? Top or bottom?
Top.
Yeah, well, right. Don't tell me the tip of the ice cream cone.
You seem to be happy though with it.
Well, I'm happy with the idea of naming anything just the tip.
Yeah.
as with any girl who's been on a date in high school.
That's the name of Moyle Service.
And basically, what do you work for? I just take tips.
I would call it that if I was a Moyle.
Just a tip. Yeah. Take a tip from. No, I'll take a tip from you. Basically, is the Moyles thing. And here's a really cool. This has got to be Wegmans, where they have the Ravens. Raven. Yeah. I don't know if it's a mascot or whatever.
He's over like queso and chips. I guess that's what he's.
He would be. That's what the NFL represents at this point. Yeah. Just selling queso and chips.
Emulating his stance.
Yeah. No, I came out pretty well there. If I do say so myself. Oh, and then there's this one.
What?
This kind of explains everything.
Oh.
This explains your host right here.
Oh, you wanted because it was slow down and you just wanted slow.
Yes, that would be me. Yeah.
You got more?
I don't know if I have more. Let's see. Oh, and this was just buying the accoutrements for our New Year's program.
So tell people about where they can access your New Year's show.
Well, yeah, if you go to davesgoneby.com, our official website, davesgoneby.com. What's really, I mentioned this, I think last week and the week before that, was we spent a few weeks dealing and going over or griping or whatever with our hosting service that deals with what bit?
They have the Jeffrey Epstein autopsy thing is that people are reading it. That's gruesome.
Jeffrey, he died 4 years ago.
No, but they're looking at it. I guess they released it.
I mean, trying to find, like, I don't know, semen of young women he ate? What are we looking for?
I don't know. It's crazy.
But the semen of young women he ate is such a misnomer. I can't even unpack what came out of my head and my mouth at that moment. It's like, that's why I'm slow.
People, this is your website.
Well, Oh yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You
can
can
show
access
people, see?
access it on your phone.
Yeah.
So this is the phone version of davesgoneby.com.
And that picture's of you in a Denver museum.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I took it in at one of the art museums, I think.
I think that picture is almost 10 years old at this point, which is, but I still think it, how different do I honestly look?
You look the same,
Grayer.
except your daddy now.
So you scroll down. Here's on our homepage, we still have the link where you can listen to our interview with Shecky Green. Shecky Green died on New Year's
do an homage.
Eve.
Homage.
Yeah. So if you just click that link, you can hear our interview with Shecky. And then here's the link to last week's show, the New Year's show.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of photos of me. But the main thing is all the archives of the program, audio and video, are at davesgoneby.com. And we worked it out. Our host finally figured out what they were doing.
Give me the other name of the archive one.
Archive.org. And made it so that I was able to upload nearly all of our episodes over the past 2 years or so in higher quality. In the quality I wanted to upload them in the first place. So they're files that were 2 or 3 gigabyte huge, because it's a 3-hour show, and they wouldn't let me upload anything over half a gig, and it was getting kind of ridiculous and really annoying.
When I searched it, that's what came up, an example.
Well, here's an example. We're also, all of our archives are at archive.org. Also the high quality files. So let's say you wanted to listen to the interview that we did last week, or this weekend, it was last late Sunday evening, with our wonderful friend of the Daverhood, actor Ronald Rand.
Yeah.
So on archive.org, we put up both the audio and the video files. This is the audio. If you happen to just want to hear,
like a podcast.
Yeah, exactly like a podcast. Here's Ronald Rand, a picture of him playing Harold Clurman.
Great.
Well, yeah. Well, he's done up to play Harold Clurman in that show that he does. He's been doing for years. And so you just click on. I mean, we can click on this. I don't know if your audio.
Oh, no, I gotta put the sound on here. I'll do it.
Oh, don't worry. Let's see if it.
There you are. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, he was trying to get on all night long. He was having all these difficulties.
He looks great.
Yeah. So anyway, archive.org or davesgoneby.com, both fantastic places to get our full show archives from the very beginning, as well as every interview.
And look, it says you can download it as just the title,
Mm-hmm.
a JPEG, under VBR3U, VBR MP3, or you can...
I hope they have Ogg Vorbis.
Or under what's torrent? You can download on torrent. You know what that is, no?
I thought that was the dark
There's
web and
more.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God!
What?
It gives you all of the ways you can download.
Good. I want that. I want people to access the show.
And it gives you similar items at the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you could see like other interviews. It's got another interview. Look at that. It's got another interview with Ronald Rand.
Is that might be the video version of the same interview? That's the video.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the New Year's one, correct?
Yeah.
And it's in you listed as a podcast, so.
Technically, yeah, it is. It is. This is a video podcast, but you can either listen to the show video or audio.
Yeah. My mother, their food's gonna come.
Oh, all right, yeah. Joyce orders food for her parents, the night before, and then they deliver it to them out in Queens. So anyway, so that's a bit about the program, a bit about ways to not only watch this episode, because once we're done with the episode, we'll render it, we'll get it ready, we'll upload it, and you can watch it at davesgoneby.com or archive.org. Or if you just care about the audio, you can also listen as a podcast at castbox.fm. We have a channel there at castbox.fm. And it's the same thing. It's just the audio versions of all our programs from the very first one, 21 and a half years ago, to the one we did just a few days ago, castbox.fm. So all these ways to listen to and enjoy the show. What happened?
No, I just wanted to let her know. I said, Mom, that because so their food, this is the thing, we couldn't get a delivery, right? I guess because of the storm, or sometimes they don't have workers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the local store, but they have their own website, like app. So the next delivery was Tuesday. We couldn't get like 10 to 12. We couldn't get 11 to 1. So we got 9 to.
Oh, all right, fine.
But the thing is, it's not their usual time. So you know when you do something that's like different, like when you did the New Year's Eve show, not your regular Saturday show, sometimes it throws you off your game because you're out of your, you're out of your routine. So I wanted to let them know that if Stop and Shop will text you and say, like any app, your order will arrive shortly, and then it could be 5 minutes. So I want to make sure they're ready to.
It's also particularly important today because classically, and this is the comedy of moving here we live in northern Maryland, and it's a lovely place to live, and we have lovely weather.
We've only lived in places that were northern, like we were in northern Colorado.
Well, we live in Maryland. I mean, most people wouldn't say northern Maryland. We're in the northern part of Baltimore, like in the Baltimore County. But, and we've never lived in the South, nor probably would we ever.
You never know.
You never know. I mean, we could be Florida birds.
Well, my dad's friend, I remember I couldn't understand. He was he had some job. I don't know what he did. And then my dad said, he's going to just go to live in North Carolina and be maintenance for a complex of buildings.
You never know.
And I was like, why is he doing that? And he said the cost of living was cheaper for him there.
Sure.
And his house, I remember it was beautiful. And I thought, wow,
if we wanted to live in Mississippi or Missouri, we'd have a.
Or even our house in New York, the price would be triple. So I understand that. And who told me? Maybe I was talking to some of my friends on that online organization that with remote work, they have people are picking really remote
Why not?
rural or remote town to live because as long as you have Wi-Fi access, you can work.
Of course. I have nothing against. I was really thinking of living in a small, nothing little shit ass town because what do you need? You need Wi-Fi coffee shop, maybe in a supermarket in this day and age.
Yes, you're right.
I don't need to be going to the theater every day, right? I don't need to be doing that. I just let me have a nice little life and a nice little house.
You used to be near a Marshall so you can look snazzy. Look at that shirt, David. You look $1 million, honey.
Yeah, but the thing was, we stayed north-ish, even though a lot of people consider Maryland was slave town. It was sort of the South.
It's very interesting. Right? We learned when we went to the local historical site, and we got a really good tour guide, and he gave us a really good lay of the land. I mean, it's amazing.
But the irony is that it's a nice place, and it's 200 miles south of New York. It's semi-southish, so we get a lot of nice, we haven't had, this is a Kanayahura, as my mother would say, but we haven't had snow in 700 and something days. Certainly not since we've lived here.
It's what she said, that it's not that Maryland or Virginia or places can't handle snow. It's just that because they don't have it that often, they don't have the fleet of machines. I thought that was interesting.
Well, there wouldn't. I mean, every once in a while, there's a snowstorm in Tennessee. Are they ready for it with thousands of times?
Virginia's ready with the cones. They have the cones ready, so they can reroute.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Every time I get on here, most of the time on Saturday mornings, right? I apologize because the light outside. I want to say a beautiful sunshiny day. Never on Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning we do a show, just about. It's grim, it's raining, it's gray, and people think that we live in some kind of...
the UK.
They're in Denmark or something. That
we're in Leeds. We live in Leeds.
Like northern Norway, where there's 4 hours of sunlight every day.
You can't handle love.
And it's really lovely. I mean, it's not as nice. Nothing's as nice as Colorado, but it's really lovely here. And we get a lot of reasonably sunshiny days, and we have not had so. But go figure, today, this morning, they are expecting up and down the East Coast and into the Midwest some snowfall. So it's important that your parents get their food, more than a normal night before order of food.
It's always good to, I'm a person, I plan very far ahead. So my mom, not so much. She's more well, if I need it in the next couple of days, I'll plan then. She's not a super far ahead planner, so I know when she's calling me, it means they're into the Betty Harpers, and so I and I know we had this discussion with our friend, but food is not just food, right? So food is so laden with meaning, and people want food, and people, so if food is what you need, get it.
And also you have to know that I'll bet A, it was a Friday, and B, storm coming. The shelves at Trader Joe's and the Wegman, people are just out for 4 weeks and rock salt. And, even though we're not getting 2 feet of blizzard snow that will close America for a week, it's we're going to get, probably we'll get 3 to 4 inches of snow even here. I think in New York they'll get 4 to 5 inches or maybe 6 total.
No, I just think, for me, it's when you know the value of something to somebody else, you have to value it. So that's just always my thought process. And for them, they're waiting because they'll bring it. Some people will bring it in. Some people where they drop the bags. If they have 8 bottles of root beer, that's heavy.
Well, yeah. So
when they see
do they
the
actually
person
bring it
coming-
in for them, or do they leave it
I
in the
don't know what the law is. I think they're not supposed to go in the apartment or the house. I don't know. But if they see them, they're not going to leave it in a place where they can't access it or it's harder. They can try to bring it in more or at least somehow find a way to grab it.
Hand it to, bottle. They won't wait there bottle by bottle handing it to them.
My mom walked to the grocery store the other day and said there was no, they like the Entenmann's cakes. She said it was blighted, no cakes. So at least this place, it's they're not shopping at the local store, they're shopping at a warehouse. I asked them.
Yeah.
So they're out of a lot of it, but they may have some. So then what she can do is look through and see what they have. And she's got a neighbor who could do
that's good.
cold cuts and stuff you can't get, other things. So she can also rearrange, the local deli will bring stuff. She can plan out other stuff. So it's important, I think, for people to.
Yeah. But I just find it kind of, pretty funny that no matter what, every week it is the one worst weather day. It's going to be the Saturday morning when I'm on here and trying to tell you how lovely it is to live in northern Maryland. Except today. Today it's 40 degrees and snaining. And it really is 40 degrees and snaining right now.
Is it snaining?
Well, it has. We had little pellets earlier.
The cloud cover is pretty dark.
Yeah. It's we're getting something. But we're here. It's warm. It's nice. It's cozy in the Daverhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz, doing the 925th episode of Dave's Gone By. Remember that we have the Colorado Limerick of the Damned coming up. We have Dave's Big Dick Shenary coming up, and Bunion Watch, as well as Greeley Times. But I haven't told you the main thing that I did this week, because thank goodness school doesn't start for another 2 weeks. I don't have to teach. I've been busting my butt trying to deal with syllabi and get everything ready. Thank goodness there's a break between semesters. I don't know how elementary and high school teachers do it. I don't know how they get off just a day or two before Christmas, and then they break for a week and a half, and then they're back. I spent a week sleeping. I also had a cold, but I spent just a week napping almost half the day just to get over the fact that I was teaching 7 classes last semester because adjuncts are mules. We're forced slave labor almost in the academic system, but getting just having a week or so, not even to celebrate holidays. It's we didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything. We just worked on syllabi for next semester and crashed from the last semester. And Joyce had writing to do, and she's on a higher level and does other things, but it's kind of I needed that time just to not have to deal with emails from a dozen students I was late on this paper, and my grade was this, can you move me to it? I missed this, but I put it in the wrong place. It's go away, go. You don't exist anymore. As soon as I grade the last paper, this class evaporates into ether. I'm not Mr. Chips. I'm not one of these beloved elementary school type teachers that everybody hugs and they love and they remember her for 25, 30, 40 years and send her Christmas cards. No, they forget me, I forget them. If I see them in the hallways, I'm are you one of mine? And I don't really care if you are, but hi. That's I try to be entertaining as a teacher, but Mr. Lovey-Dovey, I've changed your life. I'm not. I know I'm not. I know I'm barely making any kind of a difference at all. But but I still need, because I'm, as you can see from my energy level, this is the energy that I have in class, except I have to multiply it to fill up a room of 20, 25 people. So it's bigger than this. Imagine that 3, 4, 5 times a day. But I do it. I do it week after week after week for 16 weeks. But when that's done, and I've finished grading hundreds, literally, of papers, And I let go. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what did I just do? Why don't I have a 9 to 5 job like a normal person? Why aren't I just a barista at Starbucks or something? Why? What the hell am I doing with my life? There's no time to be creative. There's no time to write plays. There's no time to do anything. I'm just this teaching machine, or worse, a grading machine, really. And I needed that week or two to just be like, away. Meanwhile, all this in the back of my head saying, you have only a month, less than a month, before you start teaching again. And 2 of the syllabi are different. You have to rework a syllabus you did a year ago and create a whole new syllabus for this other class. It's like, a syllabus that is due on Monday, and I'm not, in no way ready to turn in. Yikes. So, it's been. That was my time. And then also hanging over my head for the past couple of weeks was knowing, I wanted to get back at least for a day or two to New York to see family and friends and stuff, which may or may not happen. But when I knew this was going to happen, when we registered to vote, which we did, we're good human beings, we knew there's an election coming up. I don't want to vote for either of the presumed 2024 candidates. I mean, look at what we have running. 2 people who both belong in nursing homes, right? One for one in a mental asylum, the other in an assisted living, right? But okay, this is who I have to vote for. I want to vote locally. I want to be a good citizen. We've officially moved here, but I knew the moment I chose to vote, I would also have to serve on a jury. I knew that getting my name on those rolls as a voter would force me to have to serve jury duty, which is a thing I didn't have to do when we were living in New York the last couple of years, and I think I did once in Colorado. Somehow jury system has sometimes missed me or excluded me. Thank you very much. Okay, but not this time. Not the couple of months after I became an official Colorado voter, Maryland voter. Go figure. They find me. I get the thing in the mail. When would you like to serve? And I'm like, and I don't want it happening in the middle of a school term. Because as nice as it may sound, because I have to pay you and you don't have to come in and teach, it also throws off your whole schedule and your whole syllabus of what you're doing when. Because you don't know. You don't know when you go to jury duty if it's going to be a day or 3 days or whatever it is.
Didn't our friends say most people settle? Who said?
Well, yeah.
Gee, somebody said,
But you don't know that going. You don't know what the hell is going. So I purposely picked a time.
Food arrived. That's good.
I purposely picked a time when I knew would be between teaching, because I kind of tell you what would be a good time. So I was like, okay, fine.
You can offer sometimes.
Right, and they do allow you one time to postpone. They do allow you, as soon as you get the summons. It's like, you are due January 4th. Da, da, da. If you want to change this, just call up and pick another time. But another time would have to be for me now going into
How long can you
May.
put it ahead? Like, can you put it ahead to May?
I don't know. I imagine if you tell them I'm available May 21st,
They're going to
They'll-
call me.
they'll put you May 21st or that week or the next
And do
week.
you think if you do that, it's more likely to get on a jury? I often
Well, I
wonder
don't
if you do that.
That's interesting. I don't know. I think that is much more random. Because the random pull is a random pull. They throw all the numbers in.
If it is truly random.
So I had my name in. I got my summons, and I'm like, let me get this over
Use
with.
the word in this one.
What?
You should word.
Probably. Remind me, because I
Maybe
will.
with your parking situation, you did it.
I've got so much to unpack and talk about my day in the.
Doing your civic duty.
She said duty. So wait, where's my notes on this? Where are my notes?
I can tell you on your
Okay,
phone.
I got
Give me your phone. I'm going to show you the picture of you wearing your badge.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have my badge. I left it on my.
It's on your phone.
Yeah, no, but I have my badge on my desk. I forgot to bring it.
I'm going to show you the picture. It's on your phone. I couldn't find it
Cool.
on my phone. And then I realized it wasn't on my phone.
Yeah, show the picture, please. Joyce is looking for the official picture.
Oh, there's you playing toilet dogs, honey. I don't know where that was.
I have not. That's probably the Five and Dime place in Hunt Valley.
Oh my
where's my jury? Okay, so this was me. This was me 2 days ago. On Thursday, I'm guessing the very first. That's a good picture,
Yeah, I
actually.
think there's a couple. You keep scrolling. You got a couple.
All right. Don't like that one quite as much.
What about the last one?
Oh, very proud.
Yeah, look at that. Good. You were very proud of your service.
Me making a civic duty.
Yeah.
By the way, that is the name of today's show, Civic Duty, which I did on last Thursday. I was called for jury service. Sorry.
I'll check and see if anyone's also on your messenger.
Well, fine. I mean, nobody's coming in. There's no
But
no
sometimes
guest
they
today.
talk about the show.
Oh yeah, cool. So, I'm like, all right, and they give you that thing. This happened to me 30-something years ago. Like the first time I had to serve on a jury and had jury duty, they said call the night before, call after 4:30.
I'm going to put on your thought I am live on my show.
Great, 4:30 in the afternoon. You call the night before, and honest to God, first time this ever happened to me, decades ago. I called the night before, and it's like, if your number is there and here, show up. And my number was, and it's like, call on Tuesday night. Or they tell you, call Sunday evening for Monday. You call Sunday evening. It's like, oh, nope, you don't have to show up yet. Don't bother. Stay home. You're fine. Or go to work. I was like, okay, yay. Then Monday afternoon, late afternoon, you call. It's like, nope, don't need you yet. Call tomorrow night. And then by Tuesday night, I called and it's like, your jury duty service is done. Thank you so much for your cooperation. I'm like, thank you. Never happened again, but that's as good as it gets,
Yeah.
right? You just call, no thank you, call, no thank you, call, no thank you. Love it. Hasn't happened since. I did serve on one jury quite a few years ago at this point. I think I was back in New York at Playbill during that time, I think. And then one or two other times I was called for service. I did the voir dire, and then they said, go now, we don't want you. We don't need your kind, whatever. And the one that I served on, and this is what it's interesting, this is what I'm worried about, and I think I've talked about this on the show, was like they call you, you get up there, you do the voir dire, and I was selected. Right? And the good part was that it wasn't anything heavy. It wasn't a murder. It wasn't anything involving anybody going to prison or, forget death penalty or anything like that. It wasn't even anything. I was called for essentially a fender bender, like a highway road collision thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, we saw one on the way home.
Oh, right, yeah. Worse, probably a little worse than that. There was damage involved. And it was really...
There was what involved?
There was damage. There was, yeah.
There was death.
No, damage. And so...
So what they're suing each other? Is that what you're deciding?
I think one person is trying to sue the other for damages because the insurance company wasn't paying, or the insurance didn't want his insurance rates to go up, whatever it was.
Yeah, but
it was such a minor nothing.
Yeah.
And yet they didn't want to settle for whatever reason.
Our friend said most people want to settle.
Most people... Generally, you get a hard ass sometimes. It's like, no, I won't settle. But in this particular case...
might want to say, save
but
money.
No, they wanted to go to trial. They wanted to take their chances, had nothing to lose.
And you saw the actual trial?
I was on a trial. But this was a trial.
Just don't tell me the names, but what type of witnesses are there? Like, is it the insurance company, police?
They didn't even have anything. They had, I think, one policeman who wasn't on this, who came to this, and then they had just the lawyers explaining, like, with charge, what happened, where the car was going.
Was the police person the same one who was there, or was it just somebody felt like...
I think it was the policeman who was first on the scene.
Oh, okay.
Not a policeman who saw the accident happen.
Oh, like the one who did the report, okay.
And then they asked questions. And it's sort of like, but understand, this was just a question of, like, insurance damages, probably, like, $1,000 worth of damage to a car.
That's ridiculous.
And they brought it to trial.
I can't believe that.
And here's the beautiful part of it. So we told, okay, you've got to be on trial. It's going to be next week.
Mm-hmm.
Come in on Monday, because it was like a Thursday or Friday. Monday, you got to take off work, go to trial on Monday. We're there, like, half a day hearing the preliminaries of the trial. It's like, don't come in on Tuesday, but more trial on Wednesday.
Why do they skip a day?
I know, to have a witness available to whatever they got to do, to prepare and so forth. And so I go to work on Tuesday. I take off work on Wednesday. I go back to fucking, like, wherever that was on Long Island,
Mhm.
Great Neck or whatever they had the maybe Hempstead it was. And they do more of the trial, and then they finish it up on Thursday or Friday.
Oh wow.
But understand, this takes 3 days out of our
And
lives
paying jurors and paying the judge and paying the
Yeah.
lawyers.
for
Lawyers are.
nothing.
Let me tell you, when I had my lawyer, he said to me, "You do not want to pay me to go to trial. Like if you can avoid." He's like, "We recommend mediation. We recommend." He's like, "Lawyers are expensive. We cost a lot of money per hour, and it's much better if we. It's much better if we don't have to do those things, right?
Yeah.
So they don't want to spend like."
And this wasn't an insurance company suing where they have deep, ridiculous
Yeah,
pockets.
yeah.
This was one person suing another person in an
Oh
accident,
my god.
civil suit. And it was like by Friday, we were all just looking at each other, and it's like, we don't fucking care. We don't care whose fault this was. I mean, we decided it was one guy's, mostly, like 90% his fault. But we
Did
were
you
just
all
like,
agree?
how did this take a week
What,
of our
was
lives?
it like the 12 Angry Men where people had all this stuff? Or did
We
you-
haggled a little bit, but nobody cared.
Oh,
It was so, which was on one level for me nice.
Yeah.
Because no matter how I voted, what did it matter to anybody's real life in the world?
It's not life or death.
Yeah. I'm not sending somebody to prison.
Yeah.
I'm not ruining their. I'm not saying that they're guilty forever. This has nothing. It's just about insurance car damages.
Mhm.
But why did this eat up
Mhm.
so much of my life and so much of my time to do this? And
They
we
should have gone
deliberate.
on the People's Court. Like they should have gone with Judge Judy.
Yeah,
For
they
$1,000
yes,
they could have gone for Judge Judy.
and the TV show got paid. That's the thing about Judge Judy. They get on there, they
Yes.
fight it out, but it doesn't matter who wins or loses
I
because the
think
show
they get
pays.
some stuff, but
Yeah.
but that would have been a good.
But no, so and we were in there, and I think we deliberated for like half an hour because we're trying to be good citizens and figure out, well, who did this, and we figured out it's generally probably this
This person.
person's fault mostly, and then we kind of gave it to our fourth person, and they gave him the thing, and then the fourth person kind of didn't answer the question quite right, so the judge sent us back.
Oh God! What do you mean? They just say yes or no.
Yeah, it was a thing where
Guilty
you
or
got
not guilty, right? Isn't it?
answer 2 different questions or something. So he said, go back and look at the thing.
Oh, which
Fine.
charge or
Yeah.
whatever.
And then we would come out, and then the lawyers were, because the lawyers then do get to ask questions
Oh,
of you.
really?
Yeah, at least in this kind of a case.
So what do they ask you?
And so, well, when it wasn't part of the thing of whatever, but you kind of decided one person was this percent guilty versus that person is 10%. Like in this accident, whose fault was it?
Oh yeah.
And we were like, well, it was 90% his. It could have been 10%
Yeah.
his. And that was, but they were curious what percentage we.
You know why? So they could use it for their next case. Probably
Yeah.
it's learned knowledge.
And we got out of there, and the judge thanked us very much for our service. And we just got out. I was like, but 3, actually, technically 4 days
Yeah.
of our life, maybe 3. Maybe in the morning we did the waiting, then the voir dire, and maybe it started that afternoon, and then 2 more days. But I was like, dude, who needs that? What is the purpose of that? But as we spoke to our friend yesterday, he said, no, really what happens, such a huge, speaking of percentages, a huge percent, they just plea out. They make a deal. They don't want to go to trial. The state doesn't want to take the time, the money, the effort. And so we get, so here's the deal. I have jury duty. I said duty. Thursday morning, I get out nice and early to make sure I get there. I don't want to be, late. You don't want to be arrested. You don't want to be charged $1,000 for, because it's, this is a major.
Do they do that?
Oh, yeah, you're warned. You are warned. You don't show up for jury duty, you are violating the law.
What happens if you miss your jury duty appointment?
According to fine law, by skipping jury duty, a judge can hold you in contempt of court, resulting in fines and jail time.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a serious thing. It's not
But
like
it says you have to go before the judge to explain why you. Oh, Maryland, let's see. Maryland says if you do not appear for jury service at the date and time directed by the summons, you can be fined up to $1,000 and 60 days in jail.
Yes. Yeah.
What happens if I accidentally miss it? Ooh.
Yeah, what happens? Same thing. Yeah. And then you have to go up to a judge and beg him not to put you in jail for 2 months. I mean, they do want to stress the seriousness and the
It says you
of the
can
court.
only change your date one time. Like you can't keep moving it.
Yeah.
Can you wear jeans to jury duty? It says do not wear jeans.
Jeans even? I mean, no T-shirts, no signage. They had on our thing. You know, you can't wear shorts. You are
Well,
supposed
you
to
should have,
respect.
especially with the movie you would have seen in December.
Right. So here's the deal. So I get out nice and early. Joyce programs the thing into my phone, but I mess up my phone a little bit. So I read out the name to where the GPS is supposed to take me to the parking garage, as opposed to the court building. And of course, I said, well, take me to the street, right? And the GPS says, fine, I'm going to do that. And the GPS takes me very nicely, 4 miles away to this street. And of course, I'm looking around. It's a dead-end street, and the number and the name I'm looking, and there's a house. And I'm like, this doesn't look like the circuit court of northern Baltimore County at all. And then I look again, and it's like, it's west is where I need to be, and this took me all the way to the east. So it's east, or what was it, Susquehanna, or whatever the hell it was, or not, as opposed to west. So I'm like, I'm just going to go straight up the street, because it's the same street, I just went to the wrong end of it. Drive in, thank goodness I left myself enough time. Go all the way up. Go into the parking garage, and this is the great part. It's in the center of town. It's like in the middle of town, near the university. So I am driving into this parking garage, and I'm thinking, oh, there's tons of spaces. This is great. I should be able to find my car pretty easily. But there are signs all throughout the parking garage that these levels, the garage goes to like level J, from A to J. But level A through F is reserved for a hotel. There's like a Holiday Inn, I guess, a block away,
well, apparently they got a lot of guests at that hotel.
Or a Hilton Courtyard or Marriott.
Can they have, I don't understand how you can have. It's not like
rows of this lot going up and up.
How many people could possibly be there?
And it's for valet parking for this hotel.
Oh wow!
But it's like, and it was empty.
They're just holding it. Maybe it's like a turf war in the garage of whose garage is it?
I mean, I can understand if there's a convention in town, and the hotel fills up and they need, but it's literally from levels B in a parking garage.
B to J? Did you?
Well, B to F is reserved. You can't park there unless you are valet parking for the hotel. And it's hilarious because
nobody's there.
Not only is nobody there, but they're reserving. The hotel is more important than the court system. If you're there for a trial, if you're there for jury duty, go up to level I. It's like,
go to Z.
Yeah.
Hope you don't get altitude sickness on the way up.
So I'm driving, and suddenly, level H, cars everywhere. But I found a spot. I come out, and you have to take your ticket because they'll validate it. You don't have to pay, which is lovely.
How do they do it?
I don't know how it works. I really don't. You take your ticket out of the slot. Fine, thank you very much. Put it in my wallet. You go in, and this was the most wonderful part of the day. Reminded me when I went with my friend to Prague and Russia, and we were flying on Aeroflot from Prague.
No holes in the cabin, Aeroflot.
It was better than Alaska Air. I'll tell you.
But they did have
They had an escape rope in case anything went. Swear to God. The Aeroflot airplane in 1989, or whatever the hell it was, had an escape rope out the window. It's really an escape rope out of Alaska Air. But I was called at the counter in Prague. It's like it was left, or it was somewhere getting onto the airplane, and they go through.
You said it was Russia.
Going to Russia.
Yeah.
And he said, Mr. Lefko, I was like, what the hell? What is the KGB after me? What is happening here?
Don't turn around.
Because this was only 2 or 3 years after the Berlin Wall fell. I mean, this was Glasnost, a few years after Berlin Wall. And what happened was they found a scissor in my bag. Because I was traveling. I mean, this was Eastern Europe-ish.
They have to know this about you. You're like Inspector Gadget. Your bag is like your bag is like a hoarder's fantasy.
It's true.
It's a hoarder's dream.
Because you never know. You might need Scotch tape. I carry Scotch. You might need gum, batteries.
Have, chocolates that have more lint and fur than a Pekingese.
Yep. I mean, it's just everything in it because you never No.
Yes.
Paperclip? Absolutely. You need one of those other clips, those clips that hold things in.
Staple
Got
on
one.
the board,
Yeah. Because you never, if I have to sleep somewhere, I need my toe spreader. I carry a
Yes,
toe
you
spreader.
have that,
It's
of course.
black.
The Milky Way, yes.
My toe spreader is the color cobalt at this point, but I keep
It's
it.
like, because it's plastic. It's just like rolled into all the stuff.
Yeah. So, and and sucking candies, cough drop,
Yeah, of
just
course,
everything. Just,
yes.
and pens and magic markers.
You love that
Because you
stuff.
never know when you're going to
Hoarder,
need to write
holy.
something. Yeah.
Hoarder alert.
And so they call me over to the counter at the airport, and they're holding up a scissor. It's like, I didn't even think of it. You fine, take the scissor. Honest to God, I come back from St. Petersburg. I'm going to Prague,
Yeah.
and they give me the scissors back.
Bring
Thank
it
you.
to Prague. Take it to Prague with you.
I'm like, keep them. No, it's your scissors. Take. So I didn't realize that I still,
Yes.
because you never know when you're going to need.
Yeah, of course.
I still carry a pair of scissors. So I go to the conveyor belt at jury duty on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the old guys, probably old cops, old whatever, the guys who all look like Sam Elliott,
Wow.
manning this conveyor belt thing. And, I'm coming out, taking my stuff, and it's like, because you do put your metal things in the tray, just like at the airport, but you don't have to take your shoes off. And there's a scissor in there. I'm like, probably. I was like,
You're like, I got everything. What do you need? You got a cough drop. You need a toe spreader. You got a sciatica. I got some meds. I got,
Now the problem is the knapsack I carry has quite literally 8 different compartments
Inspector Gadget.
into which I put
crap.
every piece.
Yeah.
Everyone has pens.
Yes.
Every compartment has.
Yes,
And so now I'm just like, bring me towards. I'm just dumping like every possible thing.
Jockstrap, underwear,
Yeah.
Kotex.
And I'm not finding it. And then finally I find the a thing that I got from
like an
somewhere.
army knife from Juliet, I think. Yeah.
It wasn't Swiss Army, but it was the idea of a Swiss Army knife
Yeah.
in a little rectangular flat thing where you can take a scissor out and a finger, a cuticle thing, and stuff like that. And I said, no, that's not it. And now I'm panicking. Now I'm like, geez, what am I going to do here? I still, thank goodness, left enough time. But so I go dumping more crap on the table, and finally I do find, like in one of the compartments, a pair of scissors, small scissors. But I found them, and he looks at them, and they're round the tip.
So
They
you
cut.
just tell people whatever you find it now, they're rounded.
Yeah. And he looks at them and says, oh, yeah, no, they're no problem. Great, thank you. So now I start cramming all my shit.
Honest to God, let's be real. If you're going to stab someone with a scissor, you could hurt someone with scissors that have a rounded tip. I mean, I don't know, but that doesn't seem...
Well, I mean, let's not forget, I get it. The animals who hijacked the planes on 9/11 used box cutters.
No, but if you're... Okay, this is when I was in Greeley.
Yeah.
I went, so you know me, it's morning, right? And I'm tired, and I had to go to this was like a murder thing, a trial and everything. So I go in, and I have my coffee or tea. Probably at that time I had tea. I don't know if I was drinking coffee then or tea.
Back in the world?
Maybe coffee. Coffee. I have a large cup of coffee, which could have been acid, cyanide, anything. So I tell him, man, I'm drinking my coffee. I'm just going to wait over there to be screened. He's like, look, ma'am, like, we want to get everyone in the courtroom, we'll screen you.
Yeah.
I said, what am I going to do with my coffee? Like, I need it. Like, I'm half asleep. He takes it and holds it. So I go through the screener while he's holding my coffee, which could have had anything in it.
Yeah. Well, it's better than the airplane that forces you to spill everything out.
Yeah, but I could have brought in that coffee, which could have had anything.
Well, did he watch you sip it? Did he watch you take
I don't know.
a swig? Did he smell it?
Yeah, but it could have been, booze. He didn't
But that could be
smell it.
gelignite. Well, booze would be okay.
I could have been crazy, and it could have been a liquid dynamite or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know with people, right?
True. So he gave you back the coffee.
He held it.
Yeah.
So when I went through screening, he held my cup of coffee, and then when I went through the screener, he gave it to me.
I get it. I mean, it was fine. It's maybe an assholey guy who said, no, guys, spill it.
Yeah.
Can't bring it in.
I just said, let me stand over there in the vestibule and drink it before I
Yeah, drink it real quick before he goes, oh, hold it, go. Nice.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be totally ridiculous. And again, you're not 30,000 feet up in the air. It is a little different,
Yeah.
When
I was in the call in Brooklyn for the federal
Yeah.
jury, they took the cell phone, they locked it up,
Cell phone.
they took everything, and I was like, how will you know which cell phone is mine? And they had a whole locker system, and because it was a federal jury, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I emptied my pockets. I think I took my cell phone and I gave it right back to me. Because people, they're there. Everybody had cell phones. Few people had computers. Everybody had devices. If they wanted to blow up something.
Other people were working on computers too?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious what people did. I asked Mom, because she's been on jury quite a bit. And she said one time she went, there were women crocheting. And I thought, that's a good use of the time. You could, you were entertained. You could be crocheting.
Well, again, 25, 30 years ago, you brought a book.
Yeah, that's true.
And, we had phones, but it was, you can do anything on a phone and you called somebody. That was it.
Well, laptops, but no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. You had a book or you had a Sudoku puzzle thing, or you just fucking waited. You just waited.
Or talk to other jurors,
Yeah. So, but I get my bag together. Like, finally, I go in, and you're supposed to be there for 8:30. 8:30 is the call time, right?
They do that so they start by like 9 or 9:30. I'm sure.
So not particularly
crowded. Who's there? So they want to see the attendance, so they can start parsing people out.
Good point.
Right?
Good point. So we're waiting, and we're sitting there, and it's nice and quiet, and
you said the chairs weren't too comfy, though. You didn't like the chairs.
The chairs, if this were an office situation. Chairs are perfectly great to type and whatever because you get up every But to sit, it's not an easy chair. It's not an armchair. They were perfect.
You
they were
said
comfortable.
The building was very modernist. You were surprised.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes. So here's the deal. When I get
to probe you.
Kind of probe me. When I get out of the car in the parking garage and I come out,
I'm trying to probe you. I was trying to probe you. I couldn't reach you though.
Oh. And at some point, this wasn't my ass. I don't know. No, but I come out of the garage, and I go look, and the garage is really, literally right near the court.
When you were downtown in Baltimore and waiting for me to get my hair did, you found a beautiful historic building. So you do like to see historic architecture.
I do. I love it. I love it. And of course, that historic building was Johns Hopkins campus. So I walked around the campus. It was magnificent. So this time, I'm like, I come out of the court, but I go up one block, and there's this lovely old stone building. It says Baltimore Court. I'm like, wow. But I'm saying, I see a cop car pull up nearby, as it would, near a court thing. And I see a cop coming out, and I just like making sure. It's like, I've got jury duty. And he's like, well, no, you're not there. You're there. and the thing was, this beautiful old building, I don't know what goes on there, but it's not where the actual building.
Maybe it's a shopping mall.
Across maybe they have higher level. Maybe it's federal. They wouldn't do federal. I don't know what it is. But the actual building I needed to be in was across the street. And across the street, there's this big old block-long building that's covered with scaffolding. Modernish, like 1950s Soviet architecture. And I'm like, there? And
maybe the Soviets are the ones who called the guards and told them about your scissor. Oh, Mr. Lefkowitz, we have this scissor.
They remember from Prague all those years ago.
Scissor man!
So I'm like, oh, all right. So already, like, I feel like bedraggled. I'm like, I don't want that building. I want the nice building. And behind the beautiful court building, there's this other really old stone building that's so gorgeous. I mean, it's obviously not the court, but I'm like, what's there? Yeah. But no. So I schlep over to.
That's where they keep people's scissors.
Scissor warehouse.
It's a museum of all the things we pulled off of people in jury duty.
Oh, that's hysterical. So I go in, and I go in, and it's not a particularly impressive place. It's just, because you kind of want, if you watch TV, all these law cases, the English shows.
Yeah. You said like Law and Order, that courtroom of.
It's really, I understand the room that we were in is not the place that the trials really take place.
Okay.
When a trial happens, you go upstairs. Maybe those are a lot nicer.
Nice,
Because here, it's all set up. You've got a judge's bench. You've got defense thing. You've got the prosecutor. Yeah, it's set up. But the furniture really looks like it's Office Max level. It's wooden, but it looks like pasteboard wooden.
Yeah.
And there's nothing particularly impressive about it. You're not going in to feel like you're at the Supreme Court. Like,
Yeah,
the
like
Sistine Chapel
that
of
sense
Law.
of like, yeah.
No, it's just like it's building. It's, all right, fine, whatever. You know. On one level, it's kind of nice, so you don't feel dwarfed by the system.
Yeah.
But on another side, it's like, it's just,
Well, maybe when you
desks.
get upstairs, it might be fancy.
Might be.
I can ask my friend. Her dad was a judge in this county, I think, or other counties. I can ask her if the courtrooms are really old school style or they're
The real ones upstairs.
Yeah. If they're really, I'll ask her.
So
I can ask her. She'll know.
So we're in this room and we're waiting, and it's nice, and people are just on their phones. That's the wonderful thing. People are just on their phones,
quiet,
reading, waiting, minding their business.
Yeah.
Only thing is, like every minute or so, somebody's hearing aid was a wee, and we're like, and one was like, somebody's gonna lose their battery if they can.
Someone said that.
Yeah. But that was literally the only annoyance
That's beautiful.
in the whole first hour of like somebody's, and we couldn't even tell if it was somebody's hearing aid or the audio system they had in the court.
Yeah,
But I think it was
feedback.
more one of us. And finally, about 9:15, woman comes in and goes. She doesn't even do anything. She goes right to the front of the thing, turns on the DVD player to play us a welcome from the judge, which is on DVD. Shows how old school this is. And they play this 2-minute DVD, which then goes into another video of the folks from Baltimore Channel 11 explaining how the court system works. And so that goes on for about 10 seconds and stops.
David's like, oh God, I'm not get Stevenson in my film class. It's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right. I was like, they can't get their DVD working either.
Yeah.
Because, the woman had left. She figures that she's going to play for 15 minutes.
Like babysitting, yeah.
And then she comes back. She fiddles with it. We notice, while she's fiddling with the DVD player, that she suddenly gets the menu for the movie Elf. And this is a room full of like 100 people serving jury duty. And suddenly we're seeing like Will Ferrell and the menu for watching Elf. I'm like, what? Are we in the Twilight Zone? What the hell? And then she gets the DVD working, and we watch the video. No, we watch the video for these Channel 11 newscasters.
Yeah.
And I find it. To me, it's really interesting. To me, it's just this is what this person does. We all know it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine somebody brand new to the system who has never watched TV law shows or has never been in it, glomming all this information at once.
Oh, too much.
If you know it, it's a great reminder of like the bailiff does this, the court clerk does this,
Yeah.
But if you're always still learning, this is what this clerk does and this what that person.
Yeah.
But if you don't know it, it's just
A lot of
I can't even imagine glomming all
That's
that
why
info.
they show them Elf to calm them
Yeah.
down. It's just Elf.
So she comes back after the thing's over,
Yeah.
dispenses with that, and then we're just waiting to see what's happening. And then it goes, we've been there. I've been there since like 20 after 8. We've been there since 8:30, 9:30, 10:30.
Yeah.
Getting on like close to 11 o'clock, and
Are people eating? Like for me, like
you're allowed, yes.
I wish they had. I would do this. I don't know if they could do it. Maybe
Yeah.
they can't because of the food thing. But
Yeah.
I would have like a Keurig. I would have like a tea thing so people could have tea and coffee.
There are vending machines.
But they would be happier if you gave them just tea and coffee.
Oh, just hand it to.
Yeah, like you just have a Keurig. Like you have like 5 Keurigs or whatever, and you let people make their stuff.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have that. It would be too many. Who would want to clean up with that?
Yeah.
But you could. I think there's a coffee machine and a vending, and like I don't know if there's sandwiches, but snacks down the hall. I didn't even see it
You still didn't eat your lunch.
because you packed me a lunch. Yeah. But she comes back. Finally, the woman comes back and says, "So here's the deal. We're still waiting to see what's going on. Thank you all for coming."
Is she the clerk? Court?
Yeah, I guess she was one of the people who that they say.
Yeah.
I don't think she was packing anything, so she wasn't one of those.
Oh no.
And she tells us, "Hey, it's going to take some time. Anybody want to watch a movie?" And I was like, "No." I'm working on my slides for my course,
Yeah.
and I'm also reading a book that I might, end up going to use in my class. But other people are like, "Yeah, sure, why?" Because not everybody brings a computer. Not everybody, people bring a book, and you read a book for more than an hour.
Yeah,
So
they're
like,
getting eye strain.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, and I'm like, okay, what movie? I'm like being on an airplane again back in the day.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, she takes that and she puts in Top Gun Maverick.
I think that's so great.
Not the original Top Gun, but Top Gun Maverick,
When did it
the
come
sequel. 2002. It's a new movie-ish.
2002.
22.
Oh wow.
With Tom Cruise coming back in the airplane. Val Kilmer shows up.
People love Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I mean, it's a people-pleasing kind of by the numbers. They get in the airplane. Costs $180 million to make this movie. I looked it up. $180 million. I'm sure it made close to it. I mean, Barbie made $1 billion.
Were people really intensely watching the movie?
They were watching because it's Jerry Bruckheimer. It's very it's all cliche. It's all by the numbers, everything. But at the same time, it plays to your expectations. It's like they go up in the air and they do these dive bomb things and they shoot and they this and they that. And it's all training exercises and stuff.
Is there a love story or it's all just like?
I mean, thank goodness, because you're in a room full of strangers and people. It's not really a movie theater. It's not like there's sex scenes or stuff. But
I don't think they could. How do they pick it? Because they could have people there who are 18, right?
Well, 18's fine.
18
You can't have anybody under 18.
That's true because it's.
Yeah. So the S word was in the movie fairly liberally. You heard shit a bit. There's a love story of sorts of what's kind of nice is it isn't like Tom Cruise falling for a 17-year-old or that. He's back with Jennifer Connelly,
Oh, nice.
who's beautiful, but she's not 20.
Age appropriate,
Yeah.
For his age. How did Tom Cruise look? People said he got a little fluffy.
He looks great. It's Tom Cruise. He's not 24-year-old Tom Cruise.
Say the name of the movie?
It's called Top Gun
Oh.
Maverick. So it's the many years later
What
sequel.
is his name Maverick?
They call him Maverick because he's, they can't control him when he's up in the air. He takes his orders, but
I didn't know if it was a person. Oh wow, look at him.
yeah,
Yeah, it says box office 1.493 billion.
Jesus.
Or yeah.
So it was $200 million well spent on this movie.
It was released May of 22. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a year and a half old, right? And so it amazes me that I'm sitting here in a courtroom
Yeah.
with all these people, and we're not hearing a trial. We're not just sitting here doing nothing. They're showing us Top Gun.
Tom Cruise was born in Syracuse.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
So I just think it's like, all right, and it's not they have it on. It's obviously loud enough to watch, but it isn't particularly distracting me from getting back to my computer and working. And so this is my day at jury duty. This is me doing, and all of us doing, our duty to Baltimore and to America of serving on a jury and finding justice. We're watching Top Gun Maverick, and this goes on for about an hour until a little bit after noon, and the woman comes back, and she says, "Okay, here's the deal. There was a case this morning, and they were haggling it out, and then the defendant took a plea. Then, of course, they won't tell you anything else about the case, but they say, that's why we had you. The case has been dealt with, and just at the last minute, they took a plea. It's not going to go through. But we have 8 other cases on the docket for the day. So I go, all right, fine. She's like, go. Nothing's going to happen until the afternoon. Get lunch, and be back by 1:15. Or stay and watch the rest of Maverick. So some people did. I would say a few dozen
How
people
long
stayed.
was
The movie's over 2 hours long.
So how long did you have in the movie? What was left?
Let me put it this way. I went out for lunch
Yeah.
because just given the even though Joyce was kind enough to make me lunch, I packed a lunch. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. Not that it was a terrible experience, but you're sitting in this room.
Well, say what you had for lunch.
I didn't have a desk to work
So I
on.
made you a turkey sandwich with veggies
Yeah.
and all your little cheese sticks and snacks.
I'll have that for
and your
lunch today.
chocolates. But what did you go out and eat?
Well, I needed to find a place pretty quick in the neighborhood.
Because
Not a
you
lot of
didn't wanna eat
restaurants.
The lunch that I packed you when I was exhausted the night before.
Thank you, dear. I knew I would take shit for this. I knew if I didn't eat, if I went out and like,
Listen, David, you're
yeah,
not.
I
I'm
know.
happy. I know that you're. We had a discussion with our friend about food and eating. I know that you're a foodie, so I'm
Yeah.
happy you found a place that you like.
yeah, I didn't have a lot of time. I had about an hour to go.
Well, they know
Eat
these
and come
places
back.
probably know that,
Yeah.
I'm sure every restaurant around the port knows that when they have an influx of patrons at a certain time, it's.
I also I had on my shirt the sticker
sure,
juror, So,
That kind of gave it away. What's he doing here? Oh, I guess he must be a juror.
so I passed a coffee shop. I'm like, I don't want to go to a coffee shop. Not my thing. I want lunch. I want food. And because if I'm just going to get a coffee shop lunch, I'll have my sandwich
Yeah.
that I packed. But then I passed this bistro place that does like tapas style Greek things, and I go on my phone because nobody puts their menu in the window anymore. God knows why. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So I walk in there, and not particularly crowded, which is lovely. This is this sort of darkish place, bistro. I sit down, waiter comes over, I look at my menu, it's like, ooh, you have grilled octopus. And it's kind of let me have the grilled octopus appetizer. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you sure you don't want anything else? In that waiterly way.
They always say that.
And I'm like, no, I don't want anything. But he's like, I'm going to leave this with you just in case. Because I figure he's working for tips, of course. And he's like, maybe, I don't know. Don't listen to what the customer actually says. Don't say, yes, I'm fine with an octopus, even if it's a little tiny thing.
He brought it to you, though, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, but while
was
he's
it
over,
crowded?
no, it wasn't. There's 2 tables of people.
So that's why.
Yeah, he's trying to beef up his whatever. I'm like, I ordered an octopus. Why are you asking me if I want more? But he leaves the thing. He leaves it with me, foodie. So he goes over to talk to this other table, and by the time he comes back, I'm like, you know what? You have riblets, like spare ribs on the bone. You know what? It's too appetizing. I'll have that too. So he was smart. Psychologically, he kind of gamed me, the son of a bitch, into ordering more because I also didn't know the size of what he would bring out. If it's a tapas place, it might be very tiny little appetizer size. But and the wait was not so. He said 10 minutes. He said it takes a little longer to cook an octopus, but like 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes.
Get back. You're wearing your thing.
So he brings out the octopus, and it isn't like the long tentacle. It's chopped up in oil and whatever. It's delicious.
Yeah, sounded you like you really liked it.
I was like,
I'm surprised you didn't get like eggplant or something else that was more Greek than ribs.
well, but you know what I like. Octopus is not something I easily get anywhere,
Yeah, but ribs
and I
you
love
get
spare
everywhere.
ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he brings out the riblets. I'm like, what the hell? It's on the thing, and it's less than. It was like $9 for the ribs. So
Yeah.
whatever.
What
it
does
was.
riblet mean? Tiny ribs?
As opposed to the big long ones,
Yeah.
but they were very meaty.
Good.
And he brings them out, and they're delicious too.
Mm.
And between the 2 of them,
What's
that was
the
my
name-
problem.
do you
It's
know the
too
name
much
of
for
the
lunch.
place?
What? Sorry?
Do you know the name of the place?
I can find. Yeah, I had
Is
the
it a
receipt.
Greek restaurant?
It was Greek-ish, and it's like one of the closest ones to the
Oh,
courthouse.
you'll have to look it
It's
up.
like a bistro place, like 1 block from the coffee shop that's there. Straight down that. I don't remember if it was Susquehanna. It wasn't Boston
Okay. You'll show me.
or Mike and Jefferson, but and so I'm like, this is really good, but I didn't want to take a doggy bag or a thing.
Or especially bringing it back into the court if
Yeah.
you're going to sit with it.
Because the octopus would have been, I wasn't that hungry. The octopus would have been enough, but I didn't know ordering it if it would be. So I had that and the ribs, and it was almost too much. I was like, but I'm going to finish because I don't want carrying rib back to the courtroom and having to have him box it up and stuff. So I ate it all.
You could have eaten the ribs while you're watching Top Gun.
Honestly, I could have. You're allowed to eat.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm hurrying a little bit just because, God forbid, I don't want to be late back to court.
Of course, you're responsible.
And meanwhile, I forgot to mention this to you. I was telling you the other day. I'm eating and I'm enjoying this food a lot.
Yeah.
And then I noticed this table on the other end, or rather quiet, but there's this family or co-workers eating together. And suddenly there's the woman on the end of the table saying,
Why should you?
and at first I couldn't tell
Sign language?
if she was sign language deaf
Yeah.
or and then the way they were sort of looking at her, it's like, no, she's special. She's like a grown woman,
Oh.
probably co-worker, but
Oh, she might have been having some kind of,
she wasn't having a seizure or anything. This
Maybe
was just
she
like
had
her
like a muscular
palsy thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm eating and looking and trying not to look
Oh, David.
because it's like it's rather interesting to see a woman at the end of this other table where all these people who
Are
are just
they-
working together, and she's just like,
But do you think it was a family or you think it was work?
I don't think they were familial. I think one person was a different color. I mean, different ages. That was no family. That was just group getting together.
Maybe they were from the hotel. They're like, how can we get more letters from the parking garage? Who's going to be the valet?
Well, they were the people who settled the case in the morning.
Oh, maybe.
No.
That could have been. Or they could have been another jury. They might have been a jury. Right?
Could possibly
maybe
have been.
They were sequestered.
Because they left the same time they got there earlier.
Sequestered. They might have been a sequestered jury.
Oh, my.
Where they were, eating in a separate... I don't know if
no. I mean, no. They were sequestered. They wouldn't leave a hotel. But it was just kind of interesting. Like, I didn't notice her, and then I'm like, what the hell... Is she trying to do like a... I'm going to say, oh, no, there's something wrong there. So I get my check. I pay the waiter, rather grudgingly because he tricked me into psychologically ordering
David.
ribs.
He just left you a menu when you ordered food.
Yeah, but you don't do that. You don't... If somebody says, this is all I want, you don't leave the menu on the table.
Tapas, they always leave it.
Really?
So for tapas, it's a custom where... Because tapas, the idea is you eat more than one plate. So every place I've been to a tapas, like Spanish tapas bar or whatever, they always leave you the menu to see what else is there.
Yeah.
Well,
they did, and it worked.
They do that during happy hour too, so people get more stuff.
Yeah, but it was nice that the portions were such that, even though it was an appetizer, there was filling enough that you could make kind of a lunch of either one.
I think appetizers are meant to be shared, so maybe that's the...
Yeah. So you're supposed to spear and share and spear. But I was one person.
Let me grab a tea. Do you want me to make you coffee?
No, I'm good. I'm actually good. I've got coffee. I've got water here. Make a quick tea. Yeah, go for it. So, I run back. I don't run.
Take this to keep you company while I'm gone, so you're not alone.
It's a candle in the wind. Never. By the way, you're watching Dave's Gone By, the 925th episode of the program, hosted by me, Dave Lefkowitz. What's that, babe? That sounds promising and or ominous. But that's my wonderful wife, Joyce, and I've been hosting this show since 2002. What is? Oh, yes. One moment, please. Look at this. This is real. This is what I wore all day. Well, half day on Thursday. So and I'm going back to the courthouse. And I'm I leave myself enough time. I'm not really running or struggling, but I want to get back in time. God forbid, right? So get back to the courthouse. I get to the conveyor belt, and I've still got all my stuff. I don't leave it there because I've got a computer. So I'm like, and I go to the guys. Thank goodness the old guys are still there. And I was like, dude, it's the same scissor. It's in there somewhere. Well, I packed up my bag and I stuffed it in somewhere. I don't know where it is, but the scissor's in there. It's like, fine, just go through. They were tired of me already. I go back in, and Maverick is still playing. Top Gun Maverick is still running, and there's people watching it, and they're into it because it's rousing. It's the music and the battles in the sky, and Tom Cruise trying to save people, and them trying to save him, and so forth. And people are watching it. It goes on until about 10 after 1, quarter after 1. And I'm kind of watching it too because it's the climactic. I've never seen the film, the climactic moment at the end of the film and stuff, and everybody's hugging, and everybody's proud of him, and he does well, and so forth. And I start opening up my computer and going back to work, and then the woman comes out at about 20 after 1, and she says, I'm not even sure exactly what she says, because my brain just went blank at that moment. She had said that early on the case, that first case, as I told you, went to a plea that didn't come to trial, and that there was another that's going to a bench trial, which I'm not even sure when Joyce comes back, maybe she can look that up, which may mean it just goes before a judge and doesn't require a jury. I'm not sure. And then whatever else happened with the 7 other things that were on the docket, I don't know. But and I think the reason Elf was in that DVD player is maybe this was the first day back in the court since before Christmas. I'm really wondering if this was day 1, so that's why everything was a little bit discombobulated or what have you. But she says something's going to a bench trial, And it was literally, it's 1:20 in the afternoon. We've been there about 5 hours, except for the lunch hour. Your service is completed. Thank you very much. Please go home. If you have trouble validating, your parking lot, you just hit the call button. We'll deal. And thank you. Thank you. I mean, we will not bother you for the next 3 years, or if you are accidentally bothered for the next 3 years, just contact us and we'll run the record and we'll check and we'll say, oops, no, sorry, you were accidentally called too early. Thank you very much and goodbye. Best, except for the phone call one, best jury service ever. I sat there, I got some reading done, I got my work done, people were quiet, there was no trial, I got to half watch Maverick Top Gun. And literally, as I'm coming, packing up, getting all my stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm literally like, yeah, because I was worried it was going to take up all of like next week. I'd get on a fucking trial, even if it was another bullshit trial of nothing happening. Still, this waste of my time, this time that I need to get ready for the next semester and to still rest up from the last semester. Like, instead, and first thing I go to the woman who was making these announcements, and I'm sorry, I didn't really hear. I wasn't paying attention. Could you repeat what you've already said like 4 times about parking validation? Because I don't know how this works. And she said, go to the parking garage. They're like, whatever. I'm just so happy. And I don't realize how it's going to work. You just apparently feed in the ticket to the machine, and you don't have to pay. Nothing happens. You're fine. Great, go. Love it. And I see this African American older woman as I'm about leaving, and she's smiling, and I'm smiling, and I look at her. I'm like, I feel like dancing. And she says, didn't know what I was going to do. I work from home like 4 days a week, she told me. And I don't know whether to go home and take a nap or, do my work. And I looked at her and I said, do both. Take a 1-hour nap and then get some work done. And it's just like, you're right. And we were both like, yeah, happy. I walk out of the courtroom. I wave at the guys by the conveyor belt. I'm like, I see ya. Won't see ya. They'll probably be retired or dead by the time I have to serve again. And that was it. That was and I go back to the parking garage. I find it. And for once, Dave used his head because they have 2 identical parking garages next to each other. And does Dave remember which parking garage he's in? Of course not. No. And does he think to look at like the parking garage ticket thing to know which one? Is like, no. So is it the one on the left or the one on the right? Now I'm thinking it's going to take me like 2 hours, like the Seinfeld episode, to find my car. But, and this is the smart thing they did. In the parking garage on the left, the levels are numbered. On the one on the right, they're lettered. So I did remember, I held it in my head that I was on level H. So I kind of knew, I gotta be in this one. Get to my car, find it, up the elevator, boom, there it is. Down, feed my ticket. I mean, everything worked the way it was supposed to. It really, really did. It was a wonderful day. I feed in the thing, the lever goes up, the car drives through, I drive on home, and then I open the trunk, and they hand you, this is hysterical, they hand you when you first go in for jury duty. Not even when you leave, not even when you're validated and done, but just when you first, they hand you an envelope. And, okay, whatever. I didn't even open the envelope until I got home. And in the envelope is the pay packet. And you would figure that the government would figure out a way that you would either have something automatically go into your bank account once your service is done, or a check, perhaps a state check. But no, I open the envelope, and there's $30 cash. The minute you walk in, and so here's my my summons for jury duty. They hand you an envelope with cash in it. What is to stop everybody from like, thank you, and leaving it that? I mean, I guess they'll get you if you suddenly leave or something and don't complete your day. But I just find like, it felt weird. It felt like, hey, this is from Rico. it's on the QT. Like, how is the government paying people literally in cash money or out of what we call that? What do you call it in an office?
A bribe?
Petty cash.
A bribe?
Brian. Petty cash. It's like, man, they pay all these 100 people like petty cash, like $3,000. Just here's $30. Here's $30. Here's $30. It's hysterical. Never occurred to me they would do that. You want the candle? Oh, here.
Yeah, I think even like I have a friend who pays research participants, and I've never paid people cash.
Yeah.
They pay cash, so maybe it's a Maryland thing.
As opposed to a gift card or something. Well,
yeah,
I can't really do
you know, or like
Amazon card.
But think about the paperwork of filling it out. What's your name? They don't even fill out your name in the summons you did.
That's right.
So I mean, they're not even so. They're like here's for your jury duty service. Like, you know,
But it occurred to me they actually hand you your pay
yeah.
before you even do anything. When it wasn't coming out. They gave it to us as we went in.
It's to placate people.
I guess.
You know, listen. You got $30. You ate squid and octopus. You know, the money paid for your lunch, and you watched Top Gun. What else do you?
It was a fabulous day. You know, if I were unemployed, which, I mean, right at the moment I am.
Yeah.
But you know, if I were more significantly unemployed, that would be great. I'm like, can you bring me back tomorrow to the jury room? I'll bring my computer. I'll work. You give me $30. You know, I won't spend it on lunch. I'll have $1 lunch, and then I'll make some money. But it's like, it was good.
Yeah,
It was a
very exciting day. It seemed.
I have to say, it was a good day.
You got to see different parking garages, buildings.
Yes.
You had to have people. You had to take stuff out of your bag and see what's in there. I mean, that's exciting.
That was the only panicky part. That was the part where I didn't know how much I would have to take out of my bag to find a stupid pair of scissors. It's like, but you know.
From now on, just put them in the front pocket. You know.
Yeah. Or if I have jury duty again or go on a plane again, just not bring scissors. Although it can be very handy to have scissors.
How many people brought like knapsacks? Just you? Did you see?
Didn't really notice. I mean, women I think brought their purses and bags, and some people did have laptops, so they brought or Kindle things or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I'm not that curious a person anymore. I don't really look around much. I don't care about I took a seat. I got there early enough that it never got really full.
Right.
But I got there so that there was nobody next to me, there's nobody in front of me, behind. It's sort of like, leave me alone. I don't care about you. You don't care about me. We want to get through this.
Your nice exchange with the lady when you left.
Well, because everybody, you're on a high. You figure they're going to start calling you for voir dire. They're going to start at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Did they call anybody?
No. Every single person in that room.
That's so weird.
Fulfilled their jury service by watching Top Gun Maverick.
That's so weird.
And sitting there and reading for 5 hours out of their lives. They are taking time out of your life. And I do think that even then, all things considered, $30 a day for your service is rather ridiculous. I mean,
more or less.
More. Even if you're watching Top Gun. Even the very fact that they're killing half to a whole day of yours.
So how many hours was it in total?
I was there, not counting the hour for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
but then 4 hours plus an hour for lunch. You could have been there from 8:30 to 4:30. You get paid $30.
Wow.
Do you want to calculate that versus minimum wage, or living wage, or something that could pay for your day?
That's important. They also have a program that I read from Maryland. You could donate your fee to a nonprofit.
Oh, they asked about that. If
Yeah.
anybody wants to, I did not. I donated my salary for the day to my lunch.
Yeah, but if people were like extremely wealthy, they could.
Yeah, I'm sure some people do. God bless them. God bless them. You know.
Well, you had a good time.
I had an absolutely, for jury duty, I had the best time ever.
Maybe by the next 3 years, when you get called again, they'll have Top Gun 3.
That's right.
You should say, like, last time I was here, we watched Top Gun 2. Is it possible to watch Top Gun 3?
Tom Cruise will be so old by then, he'll be like, what, is this a plane?
No, even like when you said Elf, Amanda from our old job, she loved Elf. That was her favorite movie. Like, if she got there and they were playing Elf, she would be.
They probably showed that between November and December for the holidays to
it's
get
to
people.
placate people.
Yeah.
It's like to distract them. It's like, I remember one time a flight attendant said to me, it's the reason we keep the planes cold so people sleep. Like they
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it colder so that people's metabolism slows, they sleep.
Yeah.
So they're less, work for the staff, right?
Yeah. And again, there's nothing in Top Gun Maverick that is legal oriented or there's nothing R-rated except shit. The language.
Oh yeah.
And then why not? There's no nudity. Why not show a movie like? But I'm still surprised that they don't show something even more PG for a room
Like
full. But
Disney
they're grown ups,
movies. Yeah,
so
yeah.
why not?
I'm sure there's some kind of like Facebook group or social media group for all these clerks of the court to say, what movies are you showing?
Yeah.
You know?
And after a while, this had to be the first time. Because the New Year they haven't been there since. I'm sure Christmas. First time, I'm sure in a week or two we're showing fucking Maverick again.
Not Maverick.
Like,
Yeah, but it's nice.
we hear it in the background over the tables in the hallways. Like,
Oh yeah.
Let's put on some weird Japanese 1950s. But let's show Rashomon. No, let's not show Rashomon.
What is it? Not Totoro. Totoro.
Oh, I would watch Totoro.
Yeah.
I almost showed it in my film class. I was like, nah, I should have. I showed the producers instead, and I think most of the kids were disappointed in it because they're not old and Jewish like me.
Yeah.
they just don't. They get Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, but they don't get the producers.
They want Totoro.
Well, I want Totoro too.
Yeah,
Totoro's coming to Broadway,
Are they gonna play him as a big fluffy gray?
I'm not sure how they do it. It's in aesthetic Japanesey kind of. I'm sure they have big
but
costumes.
He's some kind of cat animal bear, right?
Yeah, he's a rabbity.
Like they're gonna have to. Are they gonna make him just a person, like personific? What's the word we learn for personification?
Pathetic. I'm not joking about this.
Yes.
We were watching a show called Pointless
on
on cable on BritBox.
What do English people call personification?
It's pathetic something.
It doesn't.
Because from being empathic and path for feeling, like pathos. But this is weird. Like when you graft human feelings onto an inanimate object.
What do you call it in English culture when you graft human characteristics to an inanimate object or animal?
Pathetic.
I say anthropomorphism. That's what they say, but we don't have any.
Yeah.
And personification. They're not having any.
They called it on the show as pathetic something. Pathetic formation or feeling or never heard that before.
Me neither.
And I'm an English teacher, so there you go. Anyway, it's oh my god, it's like 10 to 11, and it's snowing out, ladies and gentlemen, lightly, like flurrying. Oh joy! Here in Northern Maryland, where we're doing the 925th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. Remember that you can write to me, davesgoneby at AOL.com.
There's a woman talking to a chair, and it says, is it normal to talk to inanimate objects?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you trip over something, do you kick it?
No.
Really?
I'm happy that I don't break anything.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. But you don't sort of like get mad at it, even though there's an inanimate object in your way.
Not really.
All right, we have so much still to do on this episode of the show. I barely even gotten to anything because I wanted to tell my jury duty story. But we have Colorado Limerick of the Dam coming up, where we're going to Douglas, Colorado, Dave's Big Dictionary, and of course Bunion Watch.
What's the word?
Oh, the word. That's right. Dave's Big Dictionary, inexpiable. Inexpiable, which means that it's something so bad you can't even atone for it, and then there's nothing you can do to expiate what that crime is or what that sin was. So, one thing that we do have to do is the inexpiable column that happens every week in the Greeley Tribune newspaper in northern Colorado. They take phone calls that come into the police dispatch of the local police department from people who see strange, creepy things happening in their neighborhood. So of course they call the cops and they said, "Can you send a car? Can you check this out? There's something weird going on." And some of these things are quite funny. The funny ones they put in the newspaper. They strip the identifiers, but the actual things are public record. We take the funniest ones of those and share them with you in a segment on Dave's Gone By that we call Greeley Times. Yes, Greeley Times, ladies and gentlemen, here on this January 6th, 2024, here on Dave's Gone By. Even though Joyce and I no longer live in northern Colorado, we're now in northern Maryland, we still love this column done by the Greeley Tribune and now put together by someone named Chris Bolin over there at the paper. So thank you, Chris Bolin, for doing this. We begin with our first criminality. A caller on 14th Street. Wait.
Hold on.
Well, I have this phone ringing. I have the piggy phone. Oh. Please hold. Let me get that one. Ah, got it. A caller on 14th Street said his neighbor sometimes comes out and screams in the middle of the night.
Here.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't. Maybe he has a gopher neighbor.
He could.
I think that could be what it is then.
It may be. The caller said he thinks the neighbor was using substances.
Hello.
Oh, particularly because the neighbor would scream, "Hey, I'm using substances." No.
Oh, really? Well,
No.
there you go.
There you go.
Did he say that he wants the? I can't say the.
Naxalone?
Narcan.
Naloxone?
Yeah.
I
can't say it.
I don't know. It was not creaming. It was screaming. He's not screaming into a jet engine. Then I guess he's kind of okay. A caller at a middle school. Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Wait,
Yeah. No,
wait.
I'm sorry. I will get to it as soon as your call is very important to us. There we go.
Wait.
Oh, a caller at a middle school
Yes.
on 16th Street reported
What?
a duck on campus that appeared injured. Calling the police
Yes.
about a duck on campus. The
I
caller.
hope they didn't shoot it.
Oh, well, if they did, you should tell it to duck. But
No, then they all had what do you make? Roast duck.
yeah,
On the cafeteria, the special menu was.
I would get that. Remember at UNC when
Christmas.
at the end of the
yeah,
year
it
they
was
would have
like
a meal,
yes,
like a real meal.
chef's made meal.
That was great. The caller believed, though, that the duck was a pet because, quote, it didn't have any issues with the kids touching it.
Oh God! You shouldn't touch an injured duck.
Well, the kids want to help. They want to touch this cute little fluffy thing that seems to be in trouble.
It wasn't the home economics
Yeah.
class. You grab them. I got the boiling water.
Oh yeah, and just a few years later they'll be parking with each other in high school and touch my duck, touch. No, I got that word wrong.
Oh, David.
What, babe?
Oh my God.
Is it cardinal? What? Show me.
No,
Hold on.
He flew away. Look up in top. Look.
Hold on, folks.
Come here. See these little birdies. These are the birds that live in that's the nest. Go all the way low. See them?
No.
See the birds?
No.
You gotta come here.
I see a bird. No.
Yes. Yeah, the little bird.
Oh yeah.
That's those tiny little birds. That's
Yay.
their nest. They're coming back already.
Well, they went to Florida. It was boring. They don't like DeSantis, so they flew back to New York, or what? They flew back to Maryland.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh.
And they're doing it in the snow.
Snowbirds.
You figure they they kind of got it. Go figure we would have retarded birds. That would be like,
Well,
we're coming back for the snow.
We have deer that pee and poop in our yard.
Yeah.
We have a fox that licks his tushy baba,
Mhm.
right, in our yard, and knocks down a rock behind which there is nothing.
Yeah.
So instead of going in where we have that groundhog or something, or where you could find bunnies or squirrels or birds, our fox decides, let me take a rock out of a rock wall, and there's nothing behind it.
It's just dirt. Yeah.
So this is like we
get the best animals.
Yes,
Yeah.
we get the animals who need extra loving.
It's like the birds are in Florida. It's like there's a blizzard in New York. Let's come. Or in Maryland. Let's come back. It's like, that's our lives, folks. Hey, a caller. Oh, I'm sorry. This one's been on hold. Yeah, no. Can we call you back? We know you've been waiting online a long time. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Yeah.
That's like the teacher in Charlie Brown.
Now this caller was at the Greeley Mall.
Uh-oh.
Remember that well. They wanted to know if the police were having.
Oh God, this must be good. Looks good from your.
I know it's like from a week or two ago. No, well, 2 or 3 weeks ago. A caller at the Greeley Mall wanted to know if the police were having a Christmas party and if they would like her to come and play the harp. Yeah, that's about as close. It's more theremin-y.
Why
But
would
yeah,
she call from the mall? Oh,
I-
maybe she was performing at the
yeah,
mall.
she was performing.
Well, good for her. You know, like, listen, if you don't market your own business, nobody's going to do it. You got to call people and say, hey, look, I'm available, you know, for like, what is it, maybe $300? She can play the harp for a little bit, you know?
I think most police holiday parties have a harpist.
Yeah, I believe so. When they're having their fourgois and they're eating their horse duvers and they have the white glove ceremony, I'm sure they're, you know.
Although, honestly, after listening to a harpist for 45 minutes at police, somebody would whip out a pistol and shoot her.
Somebody will find your scissors.
Somebody
Give
be
me
like,
those little scissors.
although let's face it, police like bagpipes. So if they can tolerate
Oh.
fucking bagpipes
I
at
think
funerals.
because it was like a fraternal order and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
They played at the funerals. It's so sad.
All right, we have, let me get this one, hold on.
Okay.
Because he's calling back. Okay, where are you from? 14th Street, okay. So people are camping on this person's property. This particular person had their pants down and were defecating in his yard.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You gotta catch this.
They saved evidence. Smells like. Tastes like. Yep, it's
You know what Mr. Rogers has to say to that?
I love it. Just, how do you have people camping on your property, not to mention pulling down their pants and crapping?
I think that's Woodstock. No?
Yeah, children of the 20s. This is your Woodstock.
What was the one we saw? The Fire Festival or whatever? They all went there, and it was like a typhoon or what? I don't know, whatever they had.
Well, that was a
They had
disaster.
food,
Even
yeah.
Woodstock, the second version of Woodstock in the late 1990s, where they had the grunge kids,
Wasn't it like
and they
a
were setting
fire,
fires and shit, and they were just horrible.
Shouldn't invite pyromaniacs. That's
Women
not
were
good.
raped, you know,
Oh God.
and then bad things happened. But you know,
What can I throw it? Here, catch this one.
oh yeah, ooh, yeah. I guess Joyce wants me to die.
No, I think your comments are too dicey.
Well, I did have a number 2. I never had that before, because I'm the best one. Hey, honey, why don't you give me 5? And maybe later, you know, if you're up for it, we can have 6.
Oh.
That's good. Huh?
Okay, honey, let's.
All right. We have a couple more. We have a phone call. A phone call. All right, a caller at a restaurant on 8th Avenue
Yeah.
reported a man in a white van in the parking lot. Man in a white van. Yeah, something about those guys in white vans. And he's taking a lot of pictures of people whenever they go into the bathroom.
Wait, when they went in, but in the
Not
bathroom,
in the bathroom. Not in the bathroom. Just people. He's taking
Entering.
pictures of people going into the bathroom.
Is that illegal?
Probably not.
I mean, why does he care if they go in?
It is creepy though.
Maybe people do bad stuff in the bathroom, and he wants to see like if it's messed up or something and who did it.
This could be a researcher. This could be someone who's clocking the people going in. Then he sees how much toilet paper is used. Maybe he's doing a study, right? How many
But
people blow
if
their
he's a
pants
researcher,
dry?
he'd have to have IRB. People have to sign consent.
Could have been approval, but not at the mall or wherever this was.
In a restaurant.
At the
It's
restaurant.
probably at the Country Kitchen or the Country Inn
Yeah,
restaurant.
they're doing this. And there's going to be a paper coming out in like a year and a half in the Journal of Restaurant Bathroom Usage, which is a journal. It's peer reviewed.
Yes.
It's hard to find reviewers for it, but they
Yeah,
eventually
I'm
do.
sure there's some, yeah.
Let's do one more than we have an elsewhere. A caller. Oh, there they are. Where are you from, sir? Mountain Lane.
Oh, pretty.
A caller at Mountain Lane said that someone shot out her window while she was driving.
Wow.
Turned out the window was not broken by a projectile. It was shattered when she went over a speed bump. Can that happen?
Oh, the little birds are here.
Even if you go really fast over a speed bump, would your window? I mean, this is a week for shattered windows, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe they're not making windows the way they used to. I mean, even if you go, let's say you take a bump, right, and you should go
Did
20 miles and
something
go.
hit it? Did something hit it? Like maybe
I don't
a
know.
projectile, not a bullet, but something.
How is that possible, man? I don't know. Anyway, we have an elsewhere, courtesy as usual, of a story in the New York Post, but this comes from London, and it involves airplanes, not an Alaska Air, or not that the other plane that was the Delta thing the guy climbed into. This is from London. I think it's Gatwick, not Heathrow. Yeah, it's Gatwick. A British traveler was filmed by a fellow passenger. The traveler was filmed having an epic meltdown while impatiently waiting for his luggage to appear on a baggage carousel. Okay. Now, you know what it is to travel. You know how we're crammed in and treated like chattel and cattle, and it just gets on you after. I mean, you're traveling, you've got to go, get to the airport, do the screening, wait, get on the plane, sit there uncomfortable, blah, 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 do all the things, finally get up, and you just want to go. You want to get to your place, get to your hotel,
That's
whatever
true.
it is.
That's true.
But you can't because you're waiting for your bags on the luggage carousel.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're waiting and you're waiting.
A long time, yeah.
Now, a fellow flyer who filmed the fit at the London airport said it was, quote, one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay. The unnamed passenger, he's waiting around that carousel.
Yeah, round and round.
So he goes to the mouth of the carousel. Never heard it called that, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
the mouth.
It's where they shoot out the packages,
Yeah.
the thing.
And he screams into it.
Oh, and what is it?
Well, he's hoping that. What?
Personification.
Right, he's screaming at the. Well, he's trying to have the people who are behind it hear him.
Yeah, but they're not there. They're like miles away.
Are they really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have like.
So he's hoping the luggage handlers can hear him, and he says, "Can you please hurry up? We're waiting. If you don't hurry up, I will go poo on the fucking train."
What train?
Unquote. Like I think he meant the
yes,
conveyor belt.
Yes,
Yeah. It was like, if you don't hurry up, I'm gonna go poo on the fucking train.
Maybe he had to go. So we're gonna make poo poo and come back.
Yeah, I guess you could. I don't know if he really had to, or if he's just gonna say, you know what?
It was angry.
Yeah, I'm waiting so long.
It was a protest poo poo.
The next time this train comes around, you're gonna see a pile of shit that's mine that you're gonna have to deal with. 15 minutes more go by with no luggage.
Oh no.
Right? That's when the guy
No.
climbs onto the conveyor belt.
No, he doesn't.
He's like, hello, screaming into the man. Yeah, hello. I don't think he's on the moving part. He's probably just on the belt. He says, tell you what, if you don't hurry up, I'm gonna lay a Richard right in front of this thing.
What's a Richard?
Apparently,
Look at the little birds in the tree, honey.
Oh, I can't see them from where I'm. So apparently, that's an English euphemism for taking a dump. I'm gonna lay a Richard. Never heard that.
I don't know. Look it up.
And our potatoes use Richard when they don't want to use a dirty word.
Why do the English say lay a Richard for pooping?
Have you ever heard of this? Yeah. Pardon me. Do you see anything about it?
No.
Lay a Richard? I've never in my.
What does the term lay a Richard mean in the UK? Slang for woman?
Oh, I beg your pardon? What?
It's just talking about the name Richard.
Oh, well, all right. Maybe he made that up. Maybe this guy was so crazy he started making up his own idioms. And he used the word fuck, but he doesn't want to use the word shit, which is kind of amazing. It's like, I'm going to make a poo on your fucking train. It's like mixing verbiage there from informal and formal writing. So again, he threatens now to take a dump. What?
A few sandwiches short of a picnic. I like that one.
So finally, after a ridiculous wait, I mean, the guy's probably waiting like an hour for the luggage, which would,
well,
you know me.
The more you yell at those people, the more they're going to slow down the baggage because they're like, haha, right?
So When the bags emerge, his is the first to appear.
Oh wow.
So at least that much,
But
the
he
poor
doesn't-
guy.
How do they know it's him? They don't know who he is.
Well, he sees it, he grabs it.
Oh, okay, good.
He literally, he screams, "It's number one!" He starts dancing around it. Yeah, it's number one! Before grabbing the small suitcase and dancing with glee. At least it wasn't his number two.
Thank God.
And then passengers all start laughing at him. Why? And because his bag was so small, it couldn't fit in the overhead.
That's the shame.
Yeah. Now, Grant, we don't know. We don't know what was in the bag. He might not have been allowed to put in the
Perhaps
overhead.
he tried to get it on overhead,
Yeah.
but it was full, you know?
Right. They do that. So the irony may be that he wanted to put in the overhead and he couldn't. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
And he had a way. I mean, come.
Why would you threaten to defecate on the conveyor belt?
Just for something to show.
Yeah, but then
how enraged.
The defecation on all people's luggage would be through the defecation.
Well, yeah, it would be pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Or
So
would it?
Yeah.
No, because it won't smear.
No, but if it goes around again and there's defecation and a suitcase hits it.
Well, if something falls over onto it, you've got a problem
Or
with another
comes out
problem.
the chute
Yeah.
into the poo.
But I know I've gone close to mad in airports. When we were in Aruba,
Yeah.
when we're just waiting for no reason and you're stuck. You feel unbelievably stuck. And you're just like, it does something to your mind in those situations. Not even in the air, just when you're feel like a trapped animal. And I have that syndrome, you know. So I get it. Everybody's making fun of the guy. Everybody say, "Oh, he's throwing a tantrum. Oh, this idiot shouldn't fly again." It's like, no, he's just being treated like,
Well, I was
nothing.
on a flight. You weren't there. I think it was coming back from a conference.
Yeah.
And there was the guy with I think it was a pit bull or some kind of emergency support, emotional support or animal.
Yeah.
And the guy was just erratic. And I'm like, oh God. And they banned him from one flight and they tried to get on our flight. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to be rough. And they banned him again. Security got him and he was freaking out. And I'm like, this is going to get crazy. But it didn't. But, airport security must deal with a lot of
Every day.
stress.
I mean, I feel bad for them, but I feel bad for passengers too.
Yeah, I don't know if they get paid more because it's stressful.
I hope they make a very good living.
Yeah.
I hope
Are
they should make more than fucking Claudine Gay made at Harvard for what they do.
Are they federal employees?
Oh, I wonder. I don't know. I imagine they would have. Well, if they're in the airport on the ground.
If they're working at a store in the airport, they're not.
No.
But if they're an agent, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like if you work for,
Security.
I was going to say TWA, it doesn't even
Yeah.
exist anymore. JetBlue.
Yeah.
Let's say you work for JetBlue. I don't think you're a federal employee.
But what about security? I'm going
Maybe.
to ask, is security in an airport
Yeah,
federal?
please do.
I don't know. Okay. Are security guards in an airport federal employees? It says airport were placed under oversight of the federal government.
Yeah.
Our airport security, okay. It says the law allows screeners to be federal employees, but exempts them from some things. I don't know.
All right. But I guess they're not directly
Here it
employed
says,
by the
who are
government.
the security personnel at an airport? They're transportation security officers,
Right.
like the screeners and stuff. It doesn't really give you much.
Screeners may not be federal. They might just be employees of, I don't know, the airport state, maybe? I don't know.
It says airports are owned by state or local governments.
Yeah, so let's say you have remember that tiny airport in Greeley? The local one where we had breakfast at the, so maybe those aren't federal. Those are just, airport or state employees for
They're
that.
TSA. I don't get it. It's very confusing. Let's see how much the salary is. In Maryland,
Yeah.
they make $24 an hour. Montana, 23. California, 23. These are the highest paying cities for airport security. Suitland, Maryland pays the highest, $50,000 a year.
Think about that.
This
I mean,
is
that
from-
sounds nice,
this is
but what is 50 grand a
ZipRecruiter.
year? It's more than I make.
ZipRecruiter.
Yeah. But think about that. Like they do this, they deal with
Oh,
crazy.
I lied.
What?
Richmond, California, 53.
53 grand.
California's got all the high ones. So after California, there's 5 or 6 California and Washington.
Yeah.
Then comes Suitland, Maryland.
But think about that. These folks have to deal with
DC
every day. Yeah.
DC is less than 50.
Right. I mean, what they are paid for what they have to do. It's like Walgreens employees. It's like McDonald's and Wendy's employees.
But the directors make over 100.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You know? And I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong. If they're making $500,000, that's problematic.
You know how much they pay a person to clean the cabin, who cleans all the cabin stuff?
$21 an hour.
15.
Incredible.
An airport electrical inspector in Maryland?
Oh, well.
30
Electrical inspector probably,
30 to 45 an hour.
that sounds low.
Security, oh no, that's different things.
Yeah.
Airport ambassador, 15 an hour. I don't know what that is. What's an
I
airport ambassador?
maybe just, showing people around, getting them on the little carts.
Oh, like
them, I guess.
information. Yeah.
I like that. I
Putting
would do
people
that.
on the little carts.
But you make $15 an hour. It's like, why bother? Work at a restaurant
Well, no,
and get
I think
tips.
probably what you get is you get access to some probably free travel, I would assume, or some kind of discount.
Maybe.
No?
Maybe. I don't. Maybe.
I remember when my student, her brother, I don't know if her brother, somebody worked for an airline, and we were at a conference, and she got really sick.
Oh.
She had to go back home to get treatment.
Yeah.
And someone in her family worked on an airline, and she was on standby. And that's tough, too, because you never know if you're going to be able to fly or not. And if it's easy if you're one person, but imagine you want to go as a family on standby, and that's wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is a great, if you're a steward person,
Yeah.
and you get all this flyer stuff, and you get to go to a city, and especially overnight for a day or
And
two.
captains, I sat next to a
Yeah.
captain one time, which was really funny. I was like, if anything goes down, at least I'm near him, right? He
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
what to do. And he was like, yeah, I fly all over. Like, he's like, actually, now I'm not flying for pleasure. I'm flying to my next job. So they're flying.
Yeah, I
him
mean,
to-
not all of it is just, hey, I get to go to Lisbon for 3 days.
They're flying him to take
Yeah.
a flight,
Yeah. No, it's not wonderful, but that is perk.
Yeah,
It's a decent
I
perk.
think so.
All right, let's get back to and finish up with Greeley Times with one more timely thing. I think that, wow, I'm surprised I have a phone. It's a caller at a trailer park
Wow. Yeah.
on C Street said that a resident, there you go. A resident came to the front desk with an envelope he said might contain fentanyl.
Hey.
He asked
Merry
the caller.
Christmas.
So he asked the caller to open it.
What?
In other words, the person at the trailer park, so a resident came up to, and he asked her, the person who's calling, to open the envelope.
Why? It could have been anything.
Yeah, she declined.
Good girl.
And then the man came back later to take the envelope.
You know what? I would be like, hey, I'm not opening anything. You don't know
Yeah,
what's in people's stuff.
No, certainly not an envelope I would lick if I thought I had fentanyl in it.
No.
Although if you got paper cut, it would heal him, you'd feel, I don't know.
You'd be like, I forgot what I did.
Speaking of which, this will be our last one. A caller said her father-in-law may have hit another vehicle. I love the word another in there. Her father-in-law may have hit another vehicle. He came home with white scratches on his car and didn't remember where it occurred. Dad!
Likely
Wah,
story.
wah.
What does Mr. Rogers say to that?
Yeah, not necessarily in that situation, but thank you, Fred. Indeed. And that, my friends, is Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Oh my goodness, it's 11:15 in the morning, Eastern Time, here on this January 6th, 2024. Are the birds still there? dear?
I think, did you bring the garbage in?
Yes.
Okay, I thought maybe our neighbor did it.
No, I bring it this morning. I brought it.
Like a lot of scooching. I don't know what it is. Let's see.
Well, it's still lightly snowing here in northern Maryland. As we do the 925th episode of the Day Has Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. We still have Bunion Watch to do. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Douglas, Colorado, and I can tell you about the Friends of the Daverhood too. But before then, wow, my mind is blanking because I was talking so long about the jury duty thing. But I have been given the solemn duty of bringing back Dave's Big Dictionary.
I love it.
This is where Joyce, earlier in the program, took the Merriam-Webster Dictionary New Edition, which is, by the way, based on Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary 11th edition.
Yeah. Oh.
It is paperback, though.
Mhm.
And first, you were going to give me the word that you almost landed
I
on
made
was.
a mistake. I couldn't pronounce the other one, so I felt embarrassed of my ignorance.
So, well, you had inexplicable, but that's not the word. The word is inexpiable. Inexpiable. So what I've got to do is come up with something to talk about for a few minutes involving whatever comes into my head about this word inexpiable. And I'm going to play the theme song. Could you reread? Find it in the book.
I don't think
What the
let's say it in
what
here.
it means. Inexpiable. And I'm going to play the theme. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. So basically, I just play that theme so I can keep saying the naughty Dave's Big Dictionary.
Can you spell it inexplicable? Let's give me
Inexpiable. A-E-I-N-E. X-P-I-A-B-L-E.
Okay. It says expiable, so bad as to be impossible to expiate, an expiatable sin.
Well, if it's expiatable, that means you can atone for it. If it's inexpiable, inexpiable means you can't. It's so awful. It's so terrible. Let's say, Hitler, Bin Laden, son of Sam, then what they did was inexpiable. No matter how bad they feel.
It says obsolete, implacable.
Obsolete. Oh. No, it's not an obsolete word. This adjective, not to be expiated, not allowing for expiation or atonement, an inexpiable crime, right? Obsolete, in other words, an old way that it was used was that it was also meant implacable. That you can't be moved. Yeah. I haven't been rigid since I was 40. Anywho,
it says here, unappeasable.
Well, that's implacable again. That might be is that obsolete again? Or yeah. So they don't use it that way anymore, but they still use it.
The Collins Dictionary.
Oh, never heard of it.
It says archaic, cannot be appeased. Yeah.
Right. But no,
it's atoned for.
Well, no, but that's not archaic. That's still
current.
That's still current.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of things, I think, since I have to talk about this, I think certain things are. Let me lower Jessica a bit so I can talk directly to you folks. Certain things are and should not be expiable. There's this. I do not believe, and I'm glad I'm not a Catholic, in the sense of this idea that no matter what you've done, no matter how bad, how terrible a thing that you have done, if you make a full and sincere confession by the end of your life, right, on your you make a deathbed confession, and the priest absolves you of your sins, right? You could have been a serial murderer. You killed 30 people over the course of 14 years, buried their bodies, covered them with lime and acid, and chopped them up, and so forth, just as a matter of course. And had you not been caught, you would have gone on doing it, or you just got bored and let yourself be caught. And then at a certain point, you're like, you know what? What I did was really, really, really wrong. And you mean it. You feel unbelievably sad and ashamed of having chopped up a few people and put their remains in various potted plants under various buildings. Right? And the priest is obligated, I guess, to come to you and say, does the priest forgive or does God forgive? I mean, who forgives?
I think I don't know. I mean, I think what happens is you have to have atonement. So you have to be heartfully sorry.
Right. All right. You're heartfully sorry. You are heartfully sorry for murdering those 14 people, or whatever. Like if they hadn't shot themselves at that moment, if Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, who did the shooting in was it Littleton or the other place in Colorado all those years ago, if they really, really were, or if they shot themselves and it took them a while to die. So they brought over a priest and said, do you confess? And then they suddenly have this revelation. It's like, wow, we probably shouldn't have gone through all those schoolrooms and hallways with automatic weapons and killed a bunch of people. Probably, it wasn't Littleton, it wasn't Parker, where was it? It was Columbine. And they make they make a truly heartfelt, sorry confession to the priest. This idea of their sin being absolved, that God or Jesus or whoever forgives them for what they've done. I can't see that. I can't be on board with that. And I know forgiveness is like this thing of like it's more for the person who has sinned against than for the sinner. Like if you go on year after year holding a grudge against the person who murdered your sister or brother or child, like guy goes to prison for 25 years for doing something, and the person whose child it was writes a letter and says, I forgive you. Why you forgive? I'm not forgiving you for you. I'm forgiving you for me so that I can let go, so that I don't live in rage and anger and bitterness all the rest of my life. I therefore forgive you for what you've done. I can't. Can you envision that? Can you imagine that? Of being in a situation where you forgive someone who's done something unforgivable, inexpiable.
People do it. Like, I was watching the Queer Eye for the show,
Yeah.
and there was a guy who was shot and paralyzed by somebody, and he forgave him. He forgave him.
I can't even.
That's you.
The only thing I would do is make believe I forgive somebody to get close enough to them to stab them.
Oh God, David.
I'm saying, you know what? Let's shake hands. Let's hug. And while we're hugging, my penknife is out, carving things into their guts. I can't even begin.
But don't they say that revenge and hate are dishes that like they come back to you and they hit you harder than?
Well, they do say revenge is a dish best served cold, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that's a Shakespearean thing of like don't do it. Wait, plan it out.
I mean, my grandmother was a big revenge person, but I think
Yeah.
when you hold a hate for somebody in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times it makes you sick. Like if you really hate and have hatefulness and vengeance towards somebody,
Right.
I don't think it's gonna make, like, the person won't know it. So you could like hate a person and be like, that person's terrible, and they're living their life, their best life, they're doing whatever. It's making you upset. I think
That's the idea behind
I think
it. Yeah.
that that's the problem.
But then again, I would be consumed with trying to legally ruin the other person's life. I would do whatever I could to, God forbid, let's say they killed a family member or a close friend, right? How would I not only not forgive, but how would I not want to do everything I could to make sure that person never got a job, to make sure that person, everyone on social media knew what they did and that they were, on the level of an animal.
Yeah, but it's never gonna replace that crime.
It's never going to replace the crime, and it's also, I understand that it's never really going to fix anything.
Yeah.
It's never, you think you're going to feel better by, I just, made sure that I sent their employer a letter of what they did. Maybe they'll lose their job, and it's still like, well, what can I do next to destroy them? What else can I do? What do I paint on their garage door? What do I tell, go door to door to their neighbors and tell? It would still, there would always be, with me, my personality is like the next terrible thing I could do to the person who did something terrible to me, as opposed to letting it go. But I don't know about or I do know about the idea that things are and should be inexpiable. I'm not going to talk about more than for 30 seconds about what's going on in the Middle East.
Can you save that for when I'm not present?
Yeah. Fine. but the idea of something that happens that you're supposed to somehow let go of very quickly. And I can't. And I don't think
That's just who you
countries
are.
can.
I mean, that's just who you are as a person.
No.
too.
I mean, well, in Ireland, can I talk about Ireland?
Yeah.
So this idea of, the Troubles back in the Catholics versus the Protestants. And you kind of wonder how eventually they make peace when there are families that lost, on both sides, obviously, children and brothers and sisters and what have you. How do families suddenly sort of say, okay, it's all done, we're not fighting? I guess it does work, it does happen. But in the thick of things, to expect that to happen quickly, I don't think is rational or fair. There are certain things that happened a few weeks ago that were inexpiable. And let's just say, to suddenly say, forgive, forget, ceasefire, whatever, no. Or at least not yet. Anyway, I don't know if I have anything more to say about that word, of things not being, the only irony, it's not even irony here, it's like the weird connection. It's like I'm reading, when I was in jury duty waiting for anything to happen, the book that I brought, the book that we found at one of these book things,
Yeah.
was a book called Amsterdam by a writer named Ian McEwan. Brilliant writer named Ian McEwan. Best known, you know what his best known book is?
Forgiveness.
Atonement.
Yeah.
By sheer coincidence, I read Atonement a few years ago. Parts of it are actually brilliant, but this book is so far really, really good. I'm going to assign a chapter or two to my classes. But you just go figure that you would have a word that means something not atonable, and I'm reading a book by the guy who wrote Atonement. That is purely coincidence, by the way, folks. But anyway, I think I've rambled on for enough minutes about the word inexpiable as part of Dave's Big Dictionary. Oh.
I like that you brought back this segment.
Yeah, I may do it. I may.
You used to do it all the time,
Yeah.
but I think it was replaced by Bunion Watch. But
And also by the quiz and by some other things.
are you going to bring the quiz back, like next week?
I might. I'm thinking about it.
Really? I thought Leslie said she'd write some questions.
Leslie volunteered to write some questions. I haven't heard from her about this week.
What about Dave and Vicky?
Well, I'm assuming they'll be back in the set. They're probably Dave's probably teaching already this week.
That's true,
And
actually.
I could probably get them. So it'd be nice to have maybe a quiz next week. And I should have the time to write a couple of questions if Vicky will write the rest, which would be nice.
Vicky?
I'm sorry, if Leslie will write the rest of them. Anyway, we still have
AI questions I gave you long ago.
I've got those too. But I want them to be connected to the date.
They just want to have the quiz.
Yeah, well, they have what they have, and I have what I want. I could grab trivia questions from anywhere and just say them. The idea is to have fun or to make the questions fun or weird or goofy. But I just don't have the mental energy or time to do that.
Do it now.
I used to do 10 questions.
Do it now before the semester begins.
Well, yeah, after that, there won't be a quiz until May. I can't even imagine it.
No.
Anyway, we have still to do a couple of things. Oh.
Oh, potatoes teeth? What?
No, it's my bunions talking.
Oh, they speak?
Yeah, sometimes they whisper. They're pretty low.
Maybe they were the ones making noise at the court.
That might be it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Oh, it is time to check the status, the size, the condition of Dave's bunions on his feet. Are we excited? Are we thrilled? Are we delighted? So, I'll very quickly remind you that weeks and weeks ago, when I first started the semester teaching at the universities that I teach at, I wore shoes that weren't broken in as much as I thought they were, and they gave me a terrible, a chilblain, if you will. What do they call it? A rubbing.
Oh, it was like a blister.
A sore.
Friction
A
blister.
friction blister over my toe. There was agony for like a week. And it wasn't on the bunion, but it was above the bunion of my left foot. So since then, I wanted to share with you.
Can you take off your jura thing?
Really? I like it.
Okay, leave it.
I'll give it to,
No.
wait, no, I got it. Here, ladies and gentlemen, here he is.
Gooey.
He's juror number 2. It's like,
Oh. They didn't put your
yeah.
number on there. Oh, you don't have a juror number, huh?
No, they didn't. No, it's just juror.
Okay.
I guess they don't want to identify you that directly. But see, there he is.
Oh, it looks
You know what he
happy.
does as a juror? He doesn't do shit. But here's
What movie would he want to see? Some emoji movie, probably.
that's right. Very cool. They started showing hardcore porn. It was like in the jury room. And like, yeah, watch this, everybody. All right, so here we go. Here is, this is going to be the foot that did not have the sore on it early in the semester. This is just my other foot. This is my bigger bunion, but it was non-problematic. Oh, let me play the bunion theme while I'm doing that for Bunion Watch.
She's Bunion, she really is a good one, she's Bunion.
Listen, doctor, to my plea. It's time for bunionectomy.
All right, so here's time for. Oh, look at that sucker. So just to show, trying to if we
Here, honey.
gauge this by the size of the pig, or do you want to do the teeth? Oh, the measuring thing. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. So here is my big bunion on my right foot. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. Oh, this is inches on both sides. It's not centimeters on either. All right, so we're looking at. I don't think it's gotten any bigger. Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's about. Oh my God, that's about half an inch. That literally is like half an inch from where my toe would be, kinda. Wow, that's a pretty big bunion on my right foot. You got to admit it. My left foot.
According to our TJ Maxx, the ribbon.
Here's my left foot bunion. See, smaller, but still rather noticeable when I curl my foot in like that. Rather pinkish red, but not red because it's. They do look red. It's interesting how
Why?
they. I don't know. See, look
Are you
how
putting blush on them?
the
or some
color
kind
of that.
makeup?
I was gonna put for the new year. I was gonna put
Blush or-
nail polish on it, and then I was like, no, I'm not. But it does have a certain reddish coloration. I'm so proud of my bunion. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bunion Watch for this Saturday morning, January 6, 2024. Have I been saying 24? I'm
Yeah, you've been
yeah.
saying the right one,
I think it's 2024. And we still have some other stuff to do. Ooh, I hate that!
What?
I hate that! My toenail snagged in my sock.
David, we don't have
Oh,
any-
do you have
not down
a?
here, no.
I need no, not a cutter. Oh yeah, something. I need it. Oh, I hate that feeling. It takes the
Please,
string.
Please.
No, I got. Oh God, this is awful. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bunion emergency here. Oh God, you'll hear the clipping of my toenail. This is so bad. Get off! Do you ever have that in like hotels when they have those special blankets and your toe goes under it and your nail snags on the blanket? Oh, I hate that. And it ruins my socks, man. It literally pulls a thread on the inside of my sock. Oh, this was such a good week. This is such a good day. Now it's ruined. Oh, man. How sad. Anywho, we're doing the 925th episode of The Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wonderful wife, Joyce. Remember, you can write to me at davesgoneby@aol.com, and you can follow my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, or my X feed, Radio Dave 2. We have an Instagram page, which is my name, david.lefkowitz. And what else? Oh, and you can always message me right here on Facebook. Either post under the show or direct message me if you're a Facebook friend.
On your Twittergram, your Instagram.
Well, what about my Instagram? It's the same thing that I put on the Facebook, really.
Okay.
It's another potential
Would you
audience
like
and
to
thing.
read the Mr. Rogers word of the day? You're supposed to put this on your desk for inspiration. They're
Oh, I
different.
forgot about that. So the quote from Mr. Rogers for the day is, "You see, everybody is different and everybody is valuable. The world can be a better place because you were born into it. However, there are some sins that you cannot expiate." I'm surprised he put that in there. Especially use the word expiate.
Especially for the word of the day.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
Go figure. Go figure.
Fred knows.
Now, what have we done? We've done already Greeley Times. We've done Bunion Watch. We've gone through Dave's Big Dictionary. I've talked about my jury duty service. We have two things to get through. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we go through Douglas, Colorado, and
We're checking the weather.
let's not forget the Friends of the Daverhood.
What's the place you're doing?
Oh, Douglas, Colorado.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're going to tell a little bit about that as soon as I get through telling you all about some of the wonderful people who've been on this program in months and years past, our Friends of the Daverhood. La, 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 la. Yes, it's Beethoven's Violin Concerto indeed. My dad loved that piece. Anyway, we'll have Beethoven a little bit in the background while we tell you about folks who have appeared. So we don't have any special guests on this episode of the show, but we've had wonderful people appear. Like if you were watching our New Year's episode, you saw everybody from Steve Herbst, the Whistler, to theater critics Eva Heineman and Leslie Hope Ann Blake. And we've had also some pretty famous people on the show over the years as well. So we kind of keep tabs and let you know what our friends, our family, are doing. For example, playing now through Sunday only, you have just this weekend, to see Stephanie Trudeau in her one-woman show. It's called Becoming Chavela, all about the ranchera singer Chavela Vargas.
She was a really good guest.
She was great. She was a guest on the show 2 weeks ago, and then she came back for a few minutes last time for our New Year's show. But you can see Becoming Chavela at Theater for the New City, and she's raising money. She's hoping for an off-Broadway run in this coming year or next year. So if you're interested in it, go look for Stephanie Trudeau and Becoming Chavela. Playing on the 11th of this week, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Thursday night, you can see at 5:30 p.m. our friend Eric Comstock at Birdland in, they keep bringing back Our Sinatra. It was a show I saw off Broadway 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
They've still been doing it. The
People
gang,
like it. Is it cabaret or is it dinner theater?
well, Birdland, it's cabaret. Birdland is a jazz club, essentially.
Can you eat food there or just drinks?
I imagine they've got food.
Yeah.
Like tapas kind of appies, and certainly drinks. But go to Birdland and see Our Sinatra featuring Eric Comstock this Thursday evening. Playing now through the end of January, just about, Mike Lemmy's play Before the Drugs Kick In.
Oh, God. What
Good
drugs
title.
are they?
He's not in it. He wrote the play.
What drugs are they?
Fentanyl. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Tylenol
Mm.
or Advil. Could be one of those.
Maybe vitamin D.
Oh, you think it's as heavy as all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Before the Drugs Kick In is playing at the Court Square Theater in Long Island City, over on 23rd Street in Queens. So you might want to see that. Want to let you know that our actor friend J.O. Sanders is on Broadway in Pearly Victorious, which you can see at the Music Box Theater.
What is it about, honey?
It's a revival of, I've never seen it. It's a black play, but comedy, like a very lively one. Pearly, like Purlie,
Like Pearly Gates?
but spelled differently, like Linda Pearl with an I-E. Purlie. Like Pert, the shampoo, with an Earl at the end instead.
Pearly what?
Pearly, Victorious. Featuring our friend J.O. Sanders, presumably playing one of the white people in the cast. What do they say about it? Sounds good. Got really good reviews.
Yeah. Ozzie Davis's 1961 play.
Oh, Ossie Davis wrote it. That's so cool. Yeah. And then they made a musical of it called Pearly many years later. But this is Pearly, the original play that they're reviving.
Wow, I know a lot of famous people in the original cast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's on Broadway now if you want to see it, featuring our friend J.O. Sanders.
It's a black preacher from Georgia, it says.
Cool. Yeah, I've never seen it. It's one of my options if we go back to New York that I will try and see when I'm in town, depending on how my schedule shakes out. Anyway, we also have, oh my God, honey,
Bunion alert?
not Bunion.
Oh, wait, okay, hold on.
Guess what kind of alert it is?
Austin Pendleton.
It's an Austin Pendleton alert.
I mean, if you had even a penny for any time you mention that man's name, when does he not work?
Like,
He works in everything.
and he's in his 80s at this
He's
point.
doing a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, right now he has directed a revival of Night of the Iguana, the Tennessee Williams play, featuring Daphne Rubin Vega. It's at the Signature Theater over on West 42nd Street. Now, I'm a little confused about this because I don't know if that ended at the end of December or if it goes all the way to February. I don't.
I don't know. Did they not update their site? Is that...
Let me check on this because I could have written this wrong. Iguana play New York City. Hold on. Was directed by Emily Mann. So he didn't direct it. He was in it.
Okay.
I really screwed this up. A limited engagement now through February 20. Well, oh, because December's over, wasn't it?
2024?
Yeah, let's see this. It looks like it's still running. Let me meet the company. I just want to get this right.
Well, you want to understand if it's...
Daphne Rubin Vega plays Maxine, so she's sort of the lead in this. Leia Delaria's in there, and Austin Pendleton plays Nonno. So he's in there, and Daphne Rubin Vega is a friend of the Daverhood too. She was in the original cast of Rent. So yay to both of them, who are in Night of the Iguana, and it is through early February, so we have a lot of chances still to catch it. Who else? Lilius White is on Broadway in Hagestown at the Walter Kerr Theater. Stuart Zagnett, you can see him in Harmony. That's the Barry Manilow musical at the Ethel Barrymore Theater. Aladdin is on Broadway and features music by Alan Menken, while Little Shop of Horrors, the revival, is off Broadway and also features the music of Alan Menken. Seth Beeson-Hirsch's Seth's Talent Showcase happens every Tuesday evening at La Mama. Oh, no, sorry, not La Mama. Sorry, Don't Tell Mama. Forgive me. It's a Don't Tell Mama in Midtown. And then Sunday evenings, Marcus Goldhaber holds court at room 623 in Harlem, if you want to hear some jazzy, bluesy music. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, they play Birdland every Monday evening. And, of course, Tim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Go for all the shows at Birdland. Your tickets are at birdlandjazz.com. Shout out to my friend, Happy New Year, to Evan Seplow, the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com, a website devoted to New York nightlife. And shout out to our friends David Sheward, who writes theater criticism for TotalTheater.com, TheaterLife.com, and CulturalDaily.com, to Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-hosts Two on the Aisle with our friend Charlie Gross. Go to the YouTube channel for segments of the show and entire episodes of Two on the Aisle. And Charlie did join us for our New Year's show, which was lovely. Vicky Quaggy does Late Night Catechism and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun out there in Chicago at the Greenhouse Theater and other places around town. Shout out to Dr. Demento, who still does brand new Dr. Demento shows. And let's see who else. And to Bob Cudmore, who does podcasts about upstate New York history. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Yeah, you go for it, baby. Oh, nice. Yeah. Wiggle that bow, baby. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Dave's Gone By. You're watching Dave's Gone By, I hope, as well. Remember that our archives are at davesgoneby.com and at archive.org. We have a channel there, as well as the audio archives at castbox.fm. Plus, we have a YouTube channel, although I still get every week a message or two from YouTube saying that some show we did 8 years ago when we were on the radio station in Colorado is now blocked on YouTube because we played a song that ASCAP suddenly discovered, has a rights issue that we don't pay royalties or whatever, so fuck them. YouTube, it's great that we're on YouTube, but if there's a show that's supposed to be on YouTube that isn't, the best place to find it is on davesgoneby.com and archive.org. Okay, well, we've done so much on this episode of the show, haven't we? Is there anything left to do? I mean, we talked about jury duty, we had the Bunion, we had this. I beg your pardon?
Your of the damned.
My Colorado Limerick of the damned is still to come. And we're going to do that right now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce and I lived in northern Colorado for a bunch of years. And I got it into my head all those years ago to write a poem about all these different places in Colorado, as many as I possibly could. And I thought I'd do a couple, it'd be fun. And then I did more than a couple. I started I'm a hoarder. I hoarded 5-line limerick poems about all these places in Colorado that I could. And I am still writing them to this day. And we're getting close to 300 of them. If we do 300, if I can somehow figure out a way to do 365 of them, I will do a calendar. I'll just do a daily calendar, like we have of dad jokes, and just every day you can have a calendar with this lovely photo of the place in Colorado that we're talking about, and next to it, in beautiful script, an unbelievably disgusting and risque poem about that very place. That's what the Colorado Limerick of the Damned is. And today we go to Douglas, Colorado, for our Colorado Limerick.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 would end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado, 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 Colorado.
Yes, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Let me tell you a little bit about Douglas, Colorado. It's actually a county. It's Douglas County, Colorado, but I grabbed the Douglas part. In central Colorado, and it's pretty huge. It's got a population of more than 350,000 people. So it's got a lot of area. And it's one of the 17 original Colorado counties that were platted back in 1861. And if you've ever been platted, you know how delightful that can be. According to Wikipedia, the county was named after Senator Stephen A. Douglas. He didn't live to see it. 5 months before they actually named it after him, he dropped dead. Oh well. And interestingly, it was even bigger back in the day, but they took the eastern part of it and put that in Elbert County instead. But there's still a lot to Douglas County. These days, it's known for Cherry Creek. We know the Cherry Creek Mall near Denver. Plum Creek. And it's gone, even though there's still ranching there are liberal working ranches still in Douglas County. Its main thing is no longer just ranching. It's a suburban commute to Denver kind of community. And it has the highest median income of any Colorado county. So it's like nice and hoity-toity living there.
Until now.
Cities include Castle Rock, part of Aurora, Littleton, Parker, and Lone Tree. So a nice little surface area of Douglas County, which has 3 state parks and part of the Pike National Forest. And U.S. News and World Report named it the 2nd healthiest county in America, with residential average life. Check this out. Allegedly, the national average lifespan for people is what you would probably know this. What is it now?
It depends.
There's apparently 77, right, for average. In Douglas County, the average lifespan, after 3 hours, my mouth can't move anymore, is 84 years old. That's pretty freaking awesome. I mean, that's factoring men and women, because women live to 84, men drop dead at 79 or something. But it's like, whoa. So it's a pretty neat place to live, or it was, until I got a hold of it and wrote a poem about it. The Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Douglas, Colorado. Ahem. A hooker I hired in Douglas was friendly and sweet, but not bugless. Her fleas and mosquitoes chewed on me like Cheetos. I left, and my ding-dong went tugless. As I said, you can complain, write to davesgoneby at AOL.com or message me right here on Facebook. Remember also to check my other website, davelefkowitz.org. I have a website that is just for my writing, my plays, my song lyrics, the interviews I've done, the news stories I've written about arts journalism and reporting about the theater. Rabbi Saul Solomon's Rabbinical Reflections that I co-wrote, a bunch of them with him. Those are also under essays, comical essays on davelefkowitz.org. So yeah, if you're tired of hearing my voice but you want to hear more of what's up here, that's a great website to go to, Dave Lefkowitz, Lefkowitz, davelefkowitz.org. So there you have it. We have completed our 920. You have done your civic duty by watching the civic duty episode of Dave's Gone By.
Can you mail people some sort of paper that says they've done their civic duty?
With an envelope with a penny in it, because I have to do cash. There's a cash business.
Yeah, but the stamp will cost more than the experience.
I know, right? Thank you for watching. Honestly, thank you for telling other people about this program, sharing it, liking it, giving me thumbs up on Facebook, responding to the show, giving me even thumbs up when I post something or I do a story on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah.
In your messenger.
So I really, really do appreciate hearing from you, even if I don't have the chance to respond with a thumbs up or smiley face to everything that you send in. So I'm going to pull the 5 down, my favorite number.
Wait.
Oh. So, ladies and gentlemen, to be with us next Saturday morning, which will be I don't even know what it is. What's 6 and 7? It's the 13th, January 13th, when we will have a special guest in the Daverhood, cabaret songstress Marissa Mulder. She'll be appearing in New York that week, doing her, or I think the week later. Marissa Mulder will be a guest on the next episode, next Saturday, from 9 until just about noon or thereabouts, with the 926th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio of the stream. Well, the jury's been out, but the jury's back in, and it's time, alas, to end this program. So thank all of you for watching. Thank you to my darling and wonderful wife, Joyce.
When I made your,
Oh, show me.
I put that on your chatter.
Oh, thank you very much.
I gotta change it.
Well, yeah, no, we're not going to be live, but you can send them to the
See you next
archive.
week. I'm gonna say see you next week.
See you next week. See you January 13th, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the next episode of the Dave's Gone By show. Till then, don't miss your Dave's going by. And I never have anything to add after 21 years. I still, don't miss your Dave's gone by and gone by.
Days gone by,